Get on. Let me get on.
Hey, but look though,
who said? Network. So we having a good conversation, man, about these tight ends right now. So we wanted to get y'all in, get y'all live with it. This is the Nation Sports Network. Go ahead, take it over, Big Son.
Real quick. Who mentioned Tony?
Romo?
Was that you, Leo?
No, that was them.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, that was them. That was them. That wasn't me. I'm saying,
hey, cold-blooded animal, number one dog on the list. Cold-blooded animal. Tony Gonzalez, number one of all time.
To this day, he a dog.
Number one of all time, bro. He had 270 games, though. He had 270 games. It's gonna be hard to catch him. 1,325 catches. It's gonna be hard to catch that boy.
Catches? I mean, 13. He got 13.
13. Yeah, 1,325 catches, bro. 15,127 yards.
That's big boy numbers.
111 touchdowns.
Yeah, those big boys.
I don't see nobody catching that man no time soon.
I agree, but did his team win a Super Bowl?
No. Hold up. Let me shut my mouth. Antonio Gates got more touchdowns than him.
Yeah, Gates got more touchdowns.
Yeah, he just got more touchdowns. He don't got more yards or catches.
They was in the same division. They went toe to toe.
But Gates number 2 overall though. Gates 2.
For real, Gates still number 2.
Yeah, he 2. Then Roberts 3. Roberts 3. Travis 4.
Respect.
My man Shannon Sharp, the dog himself at 5. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying though. Travis is 4 right now, right? You said Travis is 4 right now.
Yeah.
And let's be real, Travis got at least a good 3-4 years left in the tank.
Maybe more. But they only but Leo, they got an extra game, fool. They get an extra game every season.
That's true.
This shit don't count no more to me, bruh. And on top of that, my man Tony never had a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm not leaving that out, bruh. Niggas came up with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. They started their career out with greats. Let them go. And mind you, Aaron Rowe made the biggest point to me that I didn't even pay attention to. Before Mahomes, where is the Travis Kelce we all know of today? Because that's one thing that Shannon Sharp, Tony Gonzalez, and the other guy that we was just mentioning has done. Gronk. When Brady got hurt, Gronk was the leading receiver for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Listen,
like we with like some of these guys.
I'm still picking Dicker though. Dicker's still on the list at 8 though. Right now, he played. He retired at like 69 or something.
I know why Tony Gonzalez is the GOAT to me because he's a basketball player.
Yeah,
okay?
Gonzalez a beast. I mean,
he's a basketball player. He was supposed to be playing with the Miami Heat, bro.
But
he played college basketball. He didn't even play college football.
I get it.
But listen to what I'm saying. I'm not.
Dicker was when they smoked Jackson in the locker room. He's a whole different breed, bro.
That's what I'm
saying. Yeah. They was doing a little bit of different.
He retired in 72, bro, and he's still 8. Come on now. He retired in 72.
Well, like I respect what you said about these players, right? And it's nothing against Gronk, and it's nothing against Shannon Sharp, and it's nothing against Gonzalez. But all of those players right now are retired. We're still writing this Travis Kelce story.
Right.
It's Patrick Mahomes, bruh.
Bruh, I understand that. But
name Mike Dicker quarterback.
That is Patrick Mahomes' number 1 target.
No, it wasn't. Not the whole time. Yeah, Tyreek Hill.
It was Tyreek.
Tyreek Hill.
It was Tyreek.
Yeah,
for the last 2 Super Bowls, it's been Travis Kelce.
Actually, no, it wasn't. Travis Kelce did not lead them in receiving this year. Rashee Rice did.
In the playoffs, at least the first 2 games, I know he did.
Yes, in the Super Bowl, I believe it was Scantling.
It might have been Kelce had over 100 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he had 9. He didn't have over 100.
Nah, he had 90. He had 90.
Yeah, he had 9 though. He had 9 receptions for 90 something. Yeah.
That's what I'm. Come on, man. Like, look, I'm not disrespecting anybody when I say this. It's just that to me, when I look at the game, I could say that Tony Gonzalez might have been number 1. I could say that you could say Mike Dicker might be number 1 because Mike Dicker been, like you said, he been on top of that shit. He been in the top 10 for 30 years, 40 years after retirement. So that's still impressive. You know what I mean? You could say Gronk. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing, like I said, all of those guys are retired. There is nobody even close right now Kittle is a great player. I like Kittle. I think Kittle got all in.
Kittle ain't even in the top 20.
Kittle has only been in the league like 4 years, bro.
Like 4 years. You ain't been in it that long. Kelsey is only like, what is 6 years, 7th year?
No. He played with Alex Smith.
Like 5. No.
It's like his 7th year.
Oh, he an 8-time Pro Bowler, so he got some time.
Yeah, okay, man. That might be his 9th year then.
9, 10 years. Hold on.
Yeah.
814 catches, 2 Super Bowl wins, 144 games.
Travis Kelce is 34 years old, my boy.
Okay. That means, like I said, he got 3 years maybe left.
3 years? 3 years? We not talking about tight end. Oh, you got it. You got it.
Do we remember what age VD, what age our man VD retired? Not venereal disease, but for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Vernon Davis. For y'all who don't know, Vernon Davis.
What age did Shannon Sharp retire? He retired after like
37.
Yeah. You look at Tony Gonzalez. He played.
But we talk about Shannon Sharp though, a freak of nature, a workout. Like, you know what I'm saying? He gets it in. I don't know if Travis gets it in like Shannon did.
Probably not. But what I'm saying is, from what I see,
or Gronk,
he ain't lost his step.
Gronk
he ain't lost his step. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if his body holds up for 3 years, but if it does, we might be.
Yeah, Travis, you talking about Travis? He like 30. What, he 37? Y'all said
34.
Yeah,
34. That's what I'm saying. He gonna play to like 37 at least.
Nah. This ain't the old days.
He might.
This ain't no. I don't think he's gonna play no 37.
That's not a stretch.
He get one more ring, he gonna be done.
He don't really get blown up like that. That's not too far off. I think he could do a go to 30.
Like 3 more years. I'm not giving him 5 years. I'm saying 3 more years. If he wins another Super Bowl with Pat, he got a potential to win 2 more. If he wins 2 more Super Bowls, you're talking about a guy that got 5 Super Bowls. That literally right now he is the lead. Let's be real. We've had Tyreek Hill. He was the guy there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to disrespect that. But since Tyreek Hill left, Travis Kelce has been the leading receiver.
So you want me to add you on this other one?
Bro,
he's been the leading receiver.
I'm in another
joint. This about to be his 12th year, Leo. This about to be his 12th year in the league. Yeah. You got him getting 2 more 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah,
because he gonna need 3,000-yard seasons in a row, and he still would be behind Tony Gonzalez.
Right.
And they got an extra game every season, and they got a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like, I'm just gonna keep adding these asterisks right here so that they sound, you know what I'm saying, solid. You know what I'm saying? So that they're solid.
I can respect what you said, but what I'm saying is that I don't know no tight end.
He's not getting 1,000 yards every year with Marquise Brown added to the team.
Okay.
Everybody checks Travis Kelce.
Okay. How many yards he had this year?
Let's go see. Let me see. Travis Kelce had 984.
984. So
93 catches. He had almost 100 catches and had under 1,000 yards.
Yeah, because he got hurt. He was hurt. He was playing hurt like 3 weeks.
He played every game except for 2.
Yeah, let's say he was playing hurt while he was hurt because they lost those 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. He came back early.
Well, in the beginning of the season, he was hurt, I think.
He was hurt.
Of the season, he didn't play. He didn't play the Detroit game.
Nope, he was hurt. That's what I'm saying. He came back early so they can win.
Bruh, no, that's not coming back early. You only missed 1 game. How you come back early from missing 1 game?
No, he got hurt again and he missed the game. So every game that he missed, they lost.
It's so 2 games.
Huh?
That's 2 games. They lost more than 2 games.
No, I ain't saying there was a perfect record with him there. But if we are a better team with me on the field, and we are winning games with me on the field, and I'm dinged up, I'm injured, but I'm more dinged up than injured. You know what I'm saying? I could probably play, and that's what he did. Just my opinion. I'm not making the Chiefs ain't my team. I just look at it this way. Travis Kelce then earned his spot.
He's got 3 double-digit touchdowns in the regular seasons.
Okay.
Gronk had 19 touchdowns in 1 year.
I'm not about it. That's why I stopped, bro. I wasn't even about to say that. I was gonna start with Tony Gonzalez first and work my way up. Like Travis Travis is a main target for him, and that is good. He has definitely had probably 3 years that he got receiver numbers. He's got 3 years over 1,300 yards, which is absolutely amazing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's got 3 years with 100 catches. Those are the years.
He hasn't always had an extra game. He just started getting the extra game. What, 2 years ago?
Yeah, but he's played in most. He has a Hall of Fame quarterback with 1 wide receiver every year. The only year they had 2 wide receivers, this nigga numbers is down.
Hey, but they didn't need the other wide receiver because of him.
What are you talking about?
The same way that the Patriots didn't need another wide receiver because they had Gronk.
They Randy Moss season, they had more than 1 receiver. They still had Gronk. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm talking about throughout the whole time of him being there, the span of him being there.
Oh no! Once you know what you have, the money, bro. That's what I'm saying. Once the money's getting spent, you are limited in what you can do. You gotta work. You gotta hope that free agents want to come and fuck with y'all and shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But let's get off of these tight ends and talk about our tight end position a little bit. Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is the guy right now, right? How many people got faith that Zach Ertz is going to be able to go out there and produce, let's say, for our tight end, let's say 700, 800 yards?
Whoa, what?
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Listen, if you expect Ertz to do that, go ahead though.
I don't expect Ertz to do it. I'm saying, do we expect Ertz to do it? And my answer will be no. But listen to my theory on this, because that is what we're going to need out of a tight end, or 500 and 200 from the other tight end. But something like that, if we have a young quarterback.
It depends. So I won't say no, because I think you're definitely right, but I also think that depends on the offense that you're running. You only gonna get that Brady tight end type of relationship, or that Mahomes Kelsey type of relationship, if that's the offense that you're running. You know what I'm saying? That's why, me personally, I think that's why Pitts isn't having success right now in Atlanta. Not necessarily just because nobody could throw to him, because you had the receivers that were able to get. Calvin really got a whole contract maybe playing there. Not just him. Like London had a pretty decent year this year. They do have a quarterback issue, but what I was getting at was that you have to have an offense that finds a way to feed your main guy. When you start putting tight ends out at wide receiver, not that they're not gifted enough to do it, but this also suggests that you don't know how to get the tight end open from the tight end position.
I don't know, man, because I disagree with that, and the only reason I'm gonna disagree with that is because I think schematically you got some offensive coordinators that can just do some different stuff, and the reason I'm saying this is because of Sean Payton. Sean Payton with Jimmy Graham was able to put him on the outside, inside,
because he was 6'7".
I mean, I get it, but he was able to move him around in different spots. And the same thing with Gronk. We've seen Gronk line up on
Hall of Fame quarterback
several times.
6'7". Hall of Fame quarterback 6'7". You can make an offense based around that. But you're adding to what I was saying though. That's what I was saying. I said that the reason why I think Pitts wasn't having success is because they're not in a tight end heavy offense. They're not in a tight end is going to lead me in receiving type of offense. That you need a coordinator that. You need a Bieniemy. Like that's why I thought that Bieniemy would have went down there. That would have been perfect to me for Bieniemy, having Travis Kelce be your former tight end that you were running offense for, and looking at the yardage that Travis Kelce had the years that Bieniemy was there, the tight end gives you an awful lot. Yeah. And to not have a coordinator go there that uses what you have as a star player is a little confusing.
Well, I think the special thing about Kelce, right, is that in their system, Kelce is able to run basically whatever route he wants. And I think that's a credit to excuse me. I think that's a credit to Andy Reid. So in their offense, when Mahomes drops back, of course, Kelsey has his route that he's supposed to run, but he'll run the route and see the coverage, and Kelsey is able to audible himself the route basically in mid route, so it can be, because he knows what Pat's going to do, so it can be more effective for the offense. I think you need a special player that can do that, and I don't think Ertz is that at all. And I don't know if our quarterback can do that, but I think, like you were saying, for your sake, Kyle Pitts, one of those type of players that can do something like that.
You just, like I said, you just need the coordinators for it. Will Kelsey break the record for Tony Gonzalez at tight end? It'd be a nice little story to go with the Mahomes feature. But I honestly don't know if the Chiefs have that long to go. I have a couple of interesting tidbits that I found out earlier, and we're not going to go into that right now, but we'll talk about that offline. I do think the Chiefs are definitely in the running for the next 2 years. If nobody can knock them off in the next 2 years, you're talking about probably getting back-to-backs. That'll put them at 5. I think it'll take a break a little bit after that, but who's to say that they can stop them from getting them? Because Tom was just famous for always finding himself in that game. And until that kid loses, or I find a quarterback that has the heart to compete against him on that type of level, maybe it's CJ Stroud, because that was very interesting when Deshaun Watson and Tom Brady used to battle it out. I really thought that Deshaun Watson was going to bring some noise in that conference if he would stay there. But I don't know if there's somebody that's going to beat that combination right now until you get somebody to figure them out. And I don't want nothing to happen to Andy Reid. I'd rather him retire than something happen to him. So I don't know what they're going to do on that side of the world to try to stop the Chiefs. I'm worried about the NFC because we don't got to deal with them until we get to that game. And for tight ends for us, I definitely believe drafting is the way to go. I've been hearing a name from out of Texas recently for tight end, which is Jatavis or Jatavius Sanders. I don't know if you guys heard of him, but I've been hearing that name.
That's the guy I was telling y'all out of Texas. If we don't get Brock, remember we was on Brock, and I said if we don't get him, that tight end from Texas like that.
Yeah.
My thing is, where do you draft him at though?
They got him. Got him at 34 right now.
Yeah, they got him in the what's that? The second round.
Yeah, that's technically the second round, but really that's late first round.
So are you spending the second round on him?
Yeah.
He's worth it. He's worth it. I would.
But then what do you do at receiver or tight or offensive line? Which one you want to sacrifice?
From what Adam Peters said, it looks like we are not going to explore that left tackle position, especially not early in the draft.
Tried to tell y'all that.
Yeah.
We just had that conversation last night.
I was about to say we had that conversation. We don't need to.
He said Lucas and Trent Scott. Y'all got to look into Trent Scott for me, but I know about Lucas. I wasn't sure about how much time Trent Scott got last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's a new guy or if he was somebody that just had to come in when we had injuries. But Adam Peters likes him. And if he's a guy that was already here, then Adam Peters is speaking from the terms of being on another team, watching this team perform. You know what I'm saying? Because that was his take on Sam Howell before he ended up getting here. And he did say that he talked to Sam about the process of them, what they were going through, what they was looking through, if they were going to trade him or not. You know what I'm saying? So again, I appreciated how he handled the situation. But at tackle, he said that he thought that he didn't feel like it was a hole. The interviewer asked him, what about the hole and left tackle? And he mentioned Lucas and said that Lucas had a good season last year and Trent Scott played pretty good. He said, I wouldn't say that it's a hole. Like right now, if we had to move forward with those guys, we'd be okay. But we do need to look at the position. So they're evaluating everybody. And again, I'm not saying that that's an answer to say that we straight on that. I think that was what I was saying last night, where we're not going to tell y'all which direction we going. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So every answer was similar to the same thing. Like, hey, man, we could, but we also couldn't. So
yeah, but I think that's a definitive out of watching his interview. I think that's a pretty definitive answer when you talk about the left tackle position. He says, are you going to fill this hole, basically? So that's like a Joe Ark question, to be honest. And when he answered it, he basically said, well, it's not a need on the team. When you heard him talk about the other positions, like the quarterback position, he was a lot more engaged in saying, okay, we are reviewing this. And just like with the Jonathan Allen thing, he was like, no. So though he gave some definitive answers.
Yeah.
You get
with
what I'm saying?
quarterback, I'm not sure though. I'm not sure because he didn't sound like, to me, and I could be wrong. Maybe I'm hopeful. I'm not gonna say I could be wrong.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right, maybe I'm hopeful, but I really think that we may be trading out of that spot. As hard as everybody's saying that there's not that many trade spots for us, was not that many trades available. What the Giants did today and what Chicago did with trading Justin Fields, they've given us the most ammo in the first round, in my opinion, because nobody knows what we want. And if we don't go with where everybody thinks we're gonna go, it's gonna mess up the whole order that everybody was drafting in. Today, Marvin Harrison Jr. Not Marvin Harrison Jr. Today, the Giants said that even if Marvin Harrison was on the board, that they go get Malik Neighbors, and they're talking about trying to trade in front of someone, if not the Cardinals, to pick him.
Yeah, they don't want Harrison Jr. Harrison Jr. Basically, Harrison, and let me speak on him a little bit. Harrison Jr. has basically said F you to the NFL in the most subtle way. He basically said, look, you got my tape from college. I'm not doing nothing else. You're not going to hurt my draft stock, and I don't care if my draft stock goes any higher. I'm not doing your pro days. I'm not doing your combines. I'm not doing none of that.
I mean, he's the one person that really ain't got to do that.
That's not right though, bro.
I ain't saying it's right. I just said he's the one that really don't have to. I never said it was right.
Listen though. This is the thing that I've been talking about, like I was talking about with Dion and his kids yesterday. I don't necessarily like it or love it, okay? But I understand it. This is a business move. This is a business decision. Look, I put a lot of good tape out there. In his first freshman year, he had 10 receptions, 3 touchdowns. You get what I'm saying? He literally said every moment he stepped on the field, he did his thing. And he looks at it like, I got enough tape out there. And this is by the teaching of his father. And now when you look at Dion, what Dion said, other people that have been in the league, this is what it is.
So what I want to say now, and again, it's competitive. I don't want anybody to take my takes as these are things that I feel are right or wrong. It's just my notion and what I think people are like behind the scenes. Y'all remember a few years ago, maybe about 7, 8 to be exact. No, maybe a little bit longer, but about around that time when probably a little longer than that because Jonathan Allen wasn't with us. Remember when Greg Williams got fired for supposedly hunting quarterbacks or hunting players?
Vito,
can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
All right. Now I said, y'all remember when Greg Williams was accused of targeting players?
Yeah, with the Saints.
Y'all don't think that that's gonna happen again once owner? Like I said, because imagine
Bounty game.
Eli Manning has already happened. That situation already happened. The Chargers already let him go somewhere and get 2 championships. Their team had to move from the city that they were representing because they wasn't creating enough revenue. Okay, so I want to know how many teams are going to allow players to, one, talk bad to the media about their team because that has to hurt your overall business model for your team. Then come into the league, go to your rival or go to an enemy team that we're now going to make an enemy because you stole my pick, supposedly. And then what if these teams go out and win and these teams that were supposedly quote unquote bad organizations don't win? You mean to tell me that I'm just supposed to be okay with that?
Right.
No, you are not. And I agree with what you're saying. That's why I said to me it's kind of a bad thing, but it's a slippery slope. And looking at how the NFL has been built up to this point, it has been a slippery slope for a long time. You know, when you got the NFL owners, they doing certain things that the players don't like, the players out there doing certain things the owners don't like. And when it's time to like make rules, it's kind of always in the league's favor. Not every single time, but you know, it's going to be a slippery slope. So people now, these young talent, they come in with already endorsement deals. They already got money. So now, at first, the thing is that I wanted to make $1 million. Okay. Now it's not I want to make $1 million no more. I got $1 million. What else can you offer me going forward in my career? Because I got money. Right. You get what I'm saying? So now it's become a leverage thing. You get what I'm saying? I got leverage now coming into the league. I want to go to a team that can help me win. I don't want to go to a loser. Now, some people, a CJ Stroud type of person, which I respect a whole lot, he gonna come out and he gonna be like, take me to whoever.
Whoever wants is who I show out for. Whoever want me, whoever show me that they want me, I'm gonna show out for.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you
those players gonna always get my respect, in my opinion, because nothing is given in this world. Everything has to be earned. And if you are going to appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be given. You got to earn it. And I don't disagree that these kids have done the work. I am not going to say that they didn't go out here and perform for these colleges and for these universities to do their thing. But let's not forget that football is not you go knock on the door, get your friends, and we all pull up to the game and we just play, and whoever win is whoever win. No, there's coaching staffs. These universities have done a lot to get y'all conditioned, to get y'all bodies right, to get y'all in position to make these plays. And I think it's very disrespectful in a sense that this is a business. It's basically saying I'm going to get the job without doing an application. So
but see, you got to think about it like this too. So
real quick, let's keep it real. Let's say that we having a job fair. All of us know each other that's on this podcast, and bro is the head guy at this job. All right, we all go to this job fair, and bro like, man, y'all ain't got to fill the applications out, bro. I got y'all name. I'm gonna get y'all the gig. We know that that's how life works. How life works is based on the relationships you got, and that's cool. But what about when you're in the break room, when you're not one of the guys that I just said, and you one of the guys that showed up on time, dressed the part, you went to the interview and you knocked the interview out, and you know at the end of the day, you're not going to get the job because somebody else just knows this guy. That's wrong, y'all. And I'm not saying that from a standpoint that I don't understand how the world works. I understand that that's how the world works. I think it's completely unfair, and that's what is going to create a chip on the shoulder. And why I said and I stand by, this year is going to be the year that these wide receivers are going to go out there and show out. That's why I'm not as worried about getting one of the top two guys. I would love those prospects for our team because they create what you said, a day one mismatch. But I think that there are enough other guys that have some talent that could do really, really well because they're going to have chips on their shoulders that they're getting overlooked for guys that think that they're like that without having to play this game at this next level.
I get you. Hold on, because we got to talk about the level that they at. So the level that they at in college, right? We all remember somebody named Johnny Manziel, right? Mm-hmm. And looking at Johnny Manziel's situation, that kind of change. I watched this documentary and I learned a lot in that situation. That did change my perspective a lot on this situation because he explained. He said, "Man, look, I made this college $300 million. You know, talking about jersey sales, talking about all this. And he's like, I couldn't afford a soda. And so, and the opportunity arose itself because you couldn't sign deals and stuff at that time. You couldn't do all of this stuff to make money. And you are making money for this company. You risking yourself every single week. He could have blew out his knee, and guess what? Y'all made $300 million, and I'm still broke. So in that situation, a lot of these kids learn how to now after the NIL deals, they learn how to get leverage, and they say, okay, now at least if something does happen to me, I made enough money doing this already.
Leo, you just did me a great service, and I wish that anybody that knows anybody that is consistent with this league that we are talking about, if you know any players, know any coaches, assistants, trainers, or anything for the NFL, I want y'all to take that last tidbit that my brother Leo gave y'all, and I want y'all to understand that that's how you know what player to go away from. That's how you know what player not to pick, because you're supposed to play this game for the love of it. When you start investigating the politics of what's going on behind you with these football teams and all of that, you're no longer concerned with the love of the game. You're now concerned about your pockets. And I'm not
No,
saying
it's not a listen. It's not a concern about your pockets thing, in my opinion. Okay,
you
so
want to know why I
so
say that?
listen.
It
They,
translated to him not being a good quarterback in the NFL, because once I got the money, my job is done.
I mean, you could say some kids are like that, but some kids aren't. He said straight up he went to a bad situation, which was Cleveland at the time. They were doing better.
Baker Mayfield went to the same situation, bro.
They was on an uptrend. I'm gonna be honest. Cleveland was on an uptrend when they got him, and don't get me wrong. He said it himself. He didn't take it as serious as he could have. So you are right in that essence, absolutely. But let's talk about the player that is like a Travis Hunter, who loves the game and got the money now already. But he loves the game.
He hasn't come out and done what Shedeur Sanders has done. That's why I wouldn't pick Shedeur, even though I think Shedeur is good, and I think that Shedeur is going to be even better if his father is around, because that's somebody that can help keep him grounded. But if his father's continuing to coach and his son come into league without his father, I don't know if the money has not tainted the kid yet. Maybe it's not the money. Maybe it's the attention. Because if it's the attention over the money, the attention can make you do the work. If being seen and getting the attention is what you do, because what we say about mischievous kids, that they do things to get the attention. So I can see him doing the work and getting good to get the attention if that's what's most important to him. But when that dollar becomes most important, you stop caring about the love of it. And when you lose the love for anything, bro, y'all know me, bro. I've been doing music for 20 years.
I think differently about Shedeur. I think Shedeur want to win. I don't think Shedeur cared nothing about the money.
He do care about the money. I'm not gonna
nah, bro. You can't say that, bro. After you lose 7 games in a row and you get one win, and the first thing you do after that one win is show a bust down watch.
The rollie.
No, that's it. Listen. That's Brandon. That's different. That's Brandon.
Bro. Okay, so you Brandon being a loser.
It is his brand.
Your father was a winner. Your father didn't start doing none of that must be the money stuff when Atlanta was losing. He did that when Atlanta was on an uptrend of starting to win.
I get it. I'm not saying that.
So you're not even taking advice, and I'm not trying to cut you off. I do apologize.
I've watched a lot of their stuff that they put online. In my opinion, him not like when he came late to a practice. And that was the bowl game against North Carolina Central. He came late to the practice. His father benched him, right? He was upset that he couldn't play in the game. He didn't care about. He like, man, I failed my teammates. I seen things about him, and that's why I got my opinion on him. I think my opinion on them is only built in what I've seen. Don't get me wrong. I know it's a brand, same thing. So they put out certain things, but what I've seen from him about the game, he loves the game and he wants to win. And that's what drives him to me from what I can see from what I've seen more than anything. He want to win.
You know when they was in Jackson that they wasn't getting paid, but like the team stipend?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to know why he wanted to play in that game? Because you're messing up my portal stock. All right. And I'm also stating, and I don't care whether these guys are famous and our favorite players or used to be and stuff like that. I'm a parent, and I'm speaking on the aspect of being a parent. My son is going to have the same things to say if he's a quarterback. There is no other report that you're going to hear about him saying something different. If I was a former NFL player, not just a player, but a Hall of Fame player, I'm on TV as an analyst. I deal with other kids and other players who've made mistakes and told them what to say and how they should have handled situations. Do you possibly think that my son is going to say the wrong things as the quarterback of this team?
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that.
Also, one other tidbit that I'd like you guys to know: my nephew, Debo, my nephew played for NC Central that year. That year or the year before that, if I'm not mistaken. Guess what? They sucked. I don't even know how they made it to the championship. Deion could have sat Travis Hunter, his son, and Shiloh, and they probably still would have won that jump.
No, they lost.
No, what I know that. That's what I'm saying. Deion didn't care about winning that game.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
He didn't care about winning that jump. It was about setting that example for his son, because doing all of that shows that I am going to discipline even the people that y'all think that I care about the most. What did I tell y'all when we was coaching? That's how you pull the rest of the parents and everybody together. When you treat the best player on the team like the worst player on the team, you're going to get respect, because nobody's going to feel like nothing's given to these kids. There's no favoritism. This coach is just trying to coach to win. He's trying to teach them how to win together.
Absolutely.
I mean, I agree. And I mean, and overall, let me say, at least with the Manziel situation, when you do start to think about the money and different things, it's a distraction. Anything that's a distraction probably is not good. And my thing is, regardless of anything, let's say you found out they made $500 million. What could you really do about it at that point?
No. He didn't find out, and then
I know I'm just saying, even if you are a player, you figure out
after the fact.
You figure it out later.
What I'm saying, what it was that he couldn't afford nothing. He's the star player on the team, and he can't go to the soda machine and buy a soda.
No, what you said was valid, though. Don't get it twisted. It was valid. You know what I'm saying? I get
it. Yeah, but that's not true unless he wasn't on scholarship. Like, for me, knowing by my nephew being on scholarship, and Debo for that matter, being on scholarship when he was in school, athletes are not regular students. The regular student is the person who can't get a soda from the soda machine. You have the gym and the workout area, where the gym equipment is, where the gym is, where y'all practice facilities at. Everything there is free for them, for athletes. Everything, food, beverage, medicines, anything.
That's not being able to afford one, though.
But you using that is doing this to tell, bruh, listen to me, bruh. The alumni does kickbacks. Before they start paying these players, the alumni for these schools were making sure these star players were good. The players that are not star players, whatever the alumni bring in, they split that down the middle and give all of the players something. So I'll give an example, and not a specific school, so I don't get nobody in trouble. But certain schools during basketball was giving their kids like $80 to $140 a game, every game. This before you could get paid. So this is just the school making sure that y'all have something in y'all pockets. Y'all can go get a little bit of something if you need it. If the main restaurant or the store is closed, or it's 2:00 in the morning, there ain't nothing on campus open, y'all can go to the little restaurants or something like that. Mind you, everything in the town of both of the schools that I was at, that both of my folks went to, the spots that are in town don't charge the athletes, because that they know that they're a part of the school, and the school has certain stuff that they're probably paying that establishment to make sure that their kids are not getting in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This big business of this football stuff, they've been getting paid so long that I don't buy none of these universities' excuses about not having the money. So for him, what I'm saying is that if you're under scholarship, what you can't afford is to do things when everything else is closed. Like that's facts. When the school is like, when the gym is closed and the school cafeteria is closed, that's when you become or start feeling like I'm broke and I can't afford this and all that. But technically, as an athlete and as a student, shouldn't you kind of be sleep? Or what I tell people about college now, period, is that this is the experience or the start of you becoming an adult, and you have to start learning how to do things on your own. So it's your responsibility to make sure you get something to eat before this place closes at 11 o'clock. When you don't, and you up at 2 o'clock looking for something to drink or can't find the soda because you ain't got no money, you now trying to blame the team. And that's not necessarily where the blame should go.
I totally agree. So let me ask y'all then, right? Because it is wide receiver and defensive back day, right? Now, I do want to, at some point in time, run over Vito. We went through this last night. I don't think you was on last night. I do want to run through who the Commanders have and the Redskins have already interviewed, and this for anybody around the league. Your team probably interviewed some of the similar guys anyway, because they pretty much interviewed everybody. So your team probably interviewed some of the similar guys just to make sure that everybody's familiar with who's on the board, at receiver, at least some of the top guys. What do y'all feel like? And we'll send it around. What do y'all feel like they should do at receiver? And then after that, I'll have the reader, because I butchered names last night. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to have the reader actually read the names off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to put myself in that position again. But what do y'all think? What do y'all got at receiver? And maybe not defensive back. We'll go through defensive back later. But what y'all got at receiver so far? And how y'all think they should play this? We'll send it around.
What you mean? Like who? Like
you can go ahead, go V.
For receiver, what do you think overall with the team, with the Redskins? What should they do? And even other teams, if you want to chime in on other teams, whatever you want, what you got at receiver? What you think going on at receiver as far as in this draft, in this 2024 draft?
Let's go with who we would get first, Leo.
I would get Harrison first if I could. Like that's me. I
think he's saying like who do we think that our team is looking at?
Right. And how do you play this? If you are the Redskins, how do you play this in different scenarios? Let's say they draft the quarterback first. What are you looking at after that? At receiver. How do they play this receiver situation with what they have and with this team specifically? How do they play this receiver situation? And anything else you might want to chime in on the receivers when it comes to this draft?
I mean, to be honest, like I look at it like this. If they look at the holes they need to fill, right? We look at what they did in free agency. And so looking at what Peter said earlier, because I did pay really close attention to that because I think that was a key interview. They said they would like to build through the draft. Okay. If they look at Jahan Dotson and say, hey, this is a team that drafted him early. We didn't trade him. We didn't try to get him out the door. You know what I'm saying? We believe in him. We think he got what it takes. Maybe they don't draft a receiver at all. They go quarterback. Me personally, I would of course draft Marvin Harrison. That's just what I would do. But I do think Adam Peters is going to go over that, who to draft. Okay. And so if they draft a quarterback, I don't know when they draft a receiver, because I think that there's a couple holes that they would like to fill. And I know Dan Quinn is a defensive-minded guy. So I'm assuming that at least one of those second-round picks and potentially a cornerback, and even in the first round, is all available right now. So wide receiver, tell you who they might pick in that first with that. I don't know, because I'm still on I don't know which direction they're gonna go. I'm not lying. There is a lot of good I ain't gonna hold you.
Nah, hey Leo, if I got the same thing from watching that interview, bro. That made me even more confused about what I wanted to do or what I thought they were gonna do. I really don't know what they're gonna do, and this is a fun time if we're being honest, though. Like I can't say it's been a while since I couldn't like almost guess who we were gonna get. Yeah. Dotson was definitely on my board to be picked. Brian Robinson Jr. was unexpected, but I did think we were going to look at running back that year. So I was wrong on the pick, but what position we may have needed to look at that was easily identifiable. When we needed linemen, I didn't know what lineman we were going to get, but I always knew we was going to get a lineman in those picks. This year is one of those times where I'm not sure what we're going to do. And that's what it worries me a little bit, but that's because I don't know what direction the team is trying to go in. I think the team already knows what they're trying to do. Yeah. I think they're just waiting to see what player falls in line to what direction they want to go. But that's the thing for me, because there's been so many stories and so much this, so much that, and I have my own personal thoughts of what would make the team good right away. Are you guys building through the draft for the next 3 seasons? Are you building for the draft for this season? Are you building for next season?
No, he clearly said, I will say this. One thing I clearly heard from out of Adam Peters was, we are going to continue to build through the draft, not just this season, but continuing to build through the draft.
I
So
don't like that because that sounds like
they're not looking at just this year. You get what I'm saying? That means they're looking at this year and next year, potentially.
And that sounds good. I'm just saying that makes me wrong about them not trying to tank and not trying to seal the team out, like Ro was saying, because I understand building through the draft period. As a GM, that's what you want. You want to be able to draft and continue the growth of your team. I understand that. But if you have to do this through multiple drafts, that's not a recalibration. That's a rebuild.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I was saying. Like today, based on listening to his interview, the recalibration, I can understand better now looking at the free agents. He basically said that we basically signed all these free agents because we needed to fill our roster anyway. So now our depth is filled with guys that everybody knows about. You know what I'm saying? Not only is it just the name where everybody knows about them, these guys can now they're coaches' favorites, or they're players that the coaches favored from their previous situations. With that said, I have my immediate one mentor,
except for Frankie Louvu.
No. But so hear me out. Frankie Louvu is a tween guy. He's tween being a system guy, and he's tween being somebody that we really like as far as upside and potential. But because you have a Bobby Wagner, you now have somebody that will help correct whatever mistakes he might have, and you can let him play free, because if you can trust that Louvu is just a star, that's cool. Dorrance Armstrong and Louvu, to me, were the big contract guys, the 3 years, the 40-something million, 30-something million dollars, whatever like that. So those are the guys that I feel like you hope are your splash guys. Like those are your splash guys, or that's what you're going to build around this 3 years along with whatever you have here. So if you say Allen Payne, Dorrance Armstrong, Louvu, Wagner, everybody else on that line, the Fowlers, the Clelin Ferrell, all of y'all are now mentors. All of y'all are now being mentored by the older defensive lineman that has run this system. So the Jonathan Allen, we're keeping you because, one, you're a voice. You speak up for this defense. You're a captain. Daron Payne, if you're not a captain, you're right under Jonathan Allen, but you can help these guys that we brought in for the example guys. They'll show the example. They're going to show the rookies, this is what we want done. This is how I want you to look at this play. How Bobby Wagner was on the Brian. They was talking about Bobby Wagner on the Brandon Marshall jump. We're just talking about how he reads the plays and stuff like that. That's what you're going to be showing your linebackers, the Jamin Davises, the Louvus, the KJ Henrys. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be showing these guys exactly what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to read and react to these jumps. You're going to listen to somebody who just had 180-some tackles at the end of his career. You might not listen to Jonathan to Cody Barton. You might not listen to Cole Holcomb even, because remember what same thing I said about the quarterback position. We 2 years apart. Like, you've been in the league 2 more years than me. You're not an all-pro. You're not a pro bowler. You're not even a team favorite, to be honest. I'm more concerned about trying to get on the field and show what I can do rather than learning from you. But if you've been in the league for 10 years plus, and I'm a young guy, if I'm Jamin Davis, I'm going on my 5th year, and you've been in the league 10, 12, 13 years, Bobby, I'm listening. Not only because I want to stay on this team, but I'm listening because if I go to another team, I want to be able to keep my job.
Well, let me say something. Let me chime in for a quick second. Well, when Bobby Wagner did his he was in the top 100 last year. And when he did his top 100, guess who the first person they showed? Who's the first person that introduced him? Jamin Davis.
Jamin Davis, yeah.
Jamin Davis. It was Jamin Davis. So I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No. I that's what I said. I think that that's what I said. I feel like the recalibration is that the recalibration is the guys that are here that we're comfortable with, meaning with Adam Peters and DQ, the Reeves, the Effie's tribute to the team once he got re-signed, like, were things that showed them character stuff that was like, yeah, we want these guys to be here. Remember, I told y'all that before, even for the Jonathan Allens, and I love Jonathan Allen as a commander / Redskin. If you don't want to be here, speak up so that we know, so we can get you out and we can move on. Sweat and Young hurt. Those two hurt. Young, even though I had questions and did question his effort sometimes, I still think that was a dangerous combination if you could have got it to work. But if this season goes well, they're going to fade away in memory. Not meaning that I won't remember that they were here, but if we do well, I can get rid of what I wanted from that group because this group will have performed to a level that we can appreciate.
I absolutely agree. So so at receiver, I mean, you kind of got off the. What do you do?
No. Leo was going there. I had just asked him that question.
Okay.
For me, if again, so right off the break, I'm going Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is available before Neighbors, I personally, if I'm the Commanders, are going to pick Marvin Harrison Jr. only because Neighbors and McLaurin are similar to the same size.
So with the second pick, you're going to use it on Marvin Harrison Jr. or Neighbors.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now let's say they pick a quarterback.
So if they pick quarterback, this means that you're either going to. I feel like if you pick quarterback, I wouldn't pick wide receiver with the number 2 pick. I would go left tackle. So I think that the wide receivers that would be available after that, you have.
But you know they're not going left tackle because you already said like they're not going left tackle. Trust me.
No. I still think that if one of those guys are there, like the guy from Georgia, if he's there, like Mims is there, if the talent is there, I don't think you ignore it because you still adding depth to a line. You know what I'm saying? You still adding depth to a line that has to. You got to put all of them guys together to see if they're able to play together. So the more guys you got in that room is fine. And in my opinion, because there's so many wide receivers, I'm not sure that they value the early wide receiver over the guaranteed lineman that they could probably build on earlier than later, in my opinion. So it's just me. If that's not if like I said, Marvin Harrison in them is not the first pick, I don't think that they'll go. If a quarterback is picked first, like Rose said, I think that they would go tackle. Nah, damn. Okay, I feel you, Leo. I feel you. Because that is what I wrote earlier too. Quarterback. If you go wide receiver for your tandem to make sure that you got your number 2, I might go with what Big Son said yesterday, who was also a pick of mine that I like. I might go with Troy Franklin.
Yeah, he looked like he might fall to us right there.
Or Adonai Mitchell, but I don't think Adonai Mitchell's going to still be on the board.
Oh, no, Adonai Mitchell going to be gone.
Yeah, he's not going to be on the board, bro. So
yeah, Mitchell will be gone. But what's Franklin? I was going to say that when I got on, but I think if we make the move that you were just saying, Franklin will be there. Yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with.
No,
that was so.
Hear me out. So every draft got its own little trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that scares me, if we don't draft Marvin Harrison, is that everybody start picking. Say we don't draft him, but let's say the Patriots draft him, right behind us. That mess up everybody. Now they go get Neighbors. Now they go get they keep going. They go get Rome. You get what I'm saying? Now a lot of the wide receivers might go off the board on that first round, meaning it's going to be more quarterbacks left for that second round. But it just depends on the trend. So I don't really know that he's going to be there because Franklin is right now. They got him at like around 40, but let's be real, he could easily slip into the 32s, 31s if ain't no wide receivers available.
I mean, so if let's just say 4 quarterbacks go off the board, what do y'all think? Oh, go ahead, Big Son. Let me stop it. Go ahead. I mean, Vito or whoever was next, and I'll ask that one later.
No, you can go ahead. I'm just staying focused. I'm gonna just put y'all on G. I'm about to have a rider in here. I don't, what I'm saying. I'm gonna let them know.
So,
yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is, so what do y'all think? Okay, so let's say 4 quarterbacks go off the board the first round, right? 4 quarterbacks go off the board the first round. First round. Let's say 3 linemen, 4 linemen go off the board, so that's 8. Because you're picking 32, so let's say 3 or 4 linemen go off the board, that's 8. 3 defensive backs could go, I believe. You know what I'm saying? 3 or 4 defensive backs. Now, what I do think is kind of thin is the defensive line in this draft. I think the defensive line a little thin, so I think you might have 2 of them. So that's what 14. realistically, that wide receiver spot could be thin rolling around because you could have 5 wide receivers go in the first round, maybe 6. You know what I'm saying? So it could, I mean, you could roll around in that second round and really have the whole board just drained almost. That's why I think it's imperative for Washington to move to use that second pick. And you know, and that just not for Washington, any of the teams. I think if you need a receiver, you better get it early. I'm not sure that they're gonna last. Y'all have been saying that this draft has been deep in receivers. I mean, everybody's unanimously saying that. You know, so I mean, we could have 5 receivers go in the first round. I think Jefferson with Jefferson and Chase making immediate impacts, even with Smith. Devontae Smith made an immediate impact when he got to the Eagles.
Well, you got to think about, I was about to say that too. What you said the other day was important, that we also got to remember that these quarterbacks have special relationships with some of these receivers, and that's what's had the success over the last few seasons is pairing these quarterbacks with some of their guys. So that's why I think Chase had the year that he had, because you put him with
absolutely.
There's familiarity there. I think if you get that, it just depends on the quarterback that you get. The quarterback that you get will allow for you to have maybe that pull or that special relationship with that receiver. Daniels is not going to probably play with anybody from LSU, because unless the Bears were to pick him and then got that number.
That's a thought, though. That's a thought. They could do that.
Yeah, that's the only. But again, because they have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, I don't think that they'll do that.
You still think they go Caleb Williams?
Yes.
I don't know now. Now that you say that.
Nah, because Caleb still has the relationship with Brendan Rice, and Rice
that's real. You can get Rice. You can get Rice.
You can get Rice. Still
yeah.
get a defender for the Bears.
Yeah.
Like, you don't got to go there first right away.
Yeah.
San Francisco, not San Francisco. The Giants, like I said, I just got a report today that the Giants are very, very serious about Neighbors over Odunze. So now who looks at Rome if the Giants are looking at Neighbors?
Right.
You know, so
shout out to everybody out there on Twitter listening, man. I see y'all coming on in, man. Shout out to everybody out there on Twitter listening, everybody on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere you listening at, man. You know, this is the Nature Sports Podcast. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. 10 years strong, baby. Better know it.
Yes, decade in. I don't know. I can't remember who, Leo. I gotta go look, but the Steelers signed somebody else today too. The Steelers are quietly making some sneaky moves too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The Steelers may be like that argument that we had the other day. I had to think about that with what Rose said. There is a little bit higher argument that Russell Wilson may give the Steelers a shot, because Russell has performed very well with the Legion of Boom. And Steelers are always in the top 10 in defense. I don't remember the last they wasn't.
Yeah. They still got Mika. They still got Mika, and they still got JJ. I mean, not JJ. JJ Watt, little brother.
TJ Watt.
TJ. They still got TJ, and they still got Mika over there. Those guys are solid.
I think Spillane is still over there.
Spillane, yeah.
So, and they got Porter Jr., right?
Yeah, Porter Jr. is the corner.
Yeah. So they legit.
They still got pieces. I mean, not just pieces. They've drafted well forever. Like, they just forever draft well. They know how to coach. They know how to get the most out of their talent, except for running back.
I think they did well, though. They've done well at running back. I don't think it's been too bad.
James Conner was not that good there, and Najee Harris has been trash out there. They have not done well in running back since Le'Veon Bell right now.
I don't know. James Conner was decent. He wasn't bad. He definitely had a 1,000-yard season over there.
James Conner, out of usage, because Pittsburgh was running that year, because Mitch Trubisky is going to make you be a running team. Like, you just got to find a way to get the ball out his hands.
Any way you can.
They actually the Steelers signed Kyle Allen.
The quarterback?
The quarterback. They signed Kyle Allen. And they signed Dean Lowry at defensive end.
Yeah, it was the defensive end.
And they got Cordell Patterson. They signed Cordell
That's who
Patterson.
I saw. That's who I saw. That's who I saw.
Okay.
That's who I saw.
They signed Cordell Patterson.
That's a good signing right there.
That's a good pick. 32 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. They help their special teams out, and they give them a wide receiver that could play in the backfield and wide out.
Yeah, that make them dangerous because but you know, I think Baltimore right now, man, with Henry and Lamar is still just that.
Lamar got to win an important playoff game for me to consider that.
I'm gonna be honest. They are dangerous, man. Pittsburgh gonna be dangerous in that division.
I agree with you, Vito, wholeheartedly. I spoke about that when the playoffs started. I said, Lamar, you got to beat Patrick to make me believe. You got to at least get there and beat Patrick doing it.
Listen,
make me believe.
They can get the ball to Henry now in the playoffs, which is different.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Henry have a playoff.
We're gonna see.
Does Derrick Henry have a playoff win?
Yeah, he has one with Tennessee.
Yes,
they went to the AFC Championship, I believe, and lost.
What?
Yeah, I believe they went to that. If I ain't mistaken,
not with Derrick Henry.
I don't think.
Not with Derrick Henry.
Nah, I think
they probably went to the semis.
I think they went to the semi. Yeah,
semis with no Emmys. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I don't know. Just to update on some more moves. Tre'Davious White went to the cornerback. Went to the Rams. They signed another cornerback today.
Oh man, they doing some good work in that secondary.
Yeah. Damian Harris, the running back, he retired. He was with the Bills. He retired today. Shaq Mason went to the Titans. Titans trying to load up on their guard play, and of course, you know, Isaiah Hodgins went to the Giants, and then we got Michael Dieter, the guard. So we tried to show up the line, which he could play center too. And I think it was his his versatility that really got him going and got him moving. You know what I mean? I think it was his versatility that really got him moving. But again, to y'all point, I mean, if we go quarterback, I just think that receiver ball gonna be real thin.
No, bro.
No, Troy Franklin. Troy.
No. There are. I can name you at least 15 people right now. That could go in the first round. But y'all do realize that if 15 wide receivers go in the first round and 4 quarterbacks go in the first round, everything that we ever wanted is going to still be available.
It's still open
in day 2. So it's not to y'all. I'm saying to all of our fans, let's not get caught up in our description of these things. We're just trying to give you guys a layout and what's possibly available to be there at these spots. We all have wonders of what we could all create in our heads, what we think that the team could do well with if they actually picked it. But I try, and all of us try to give you at least, if not an in-depth picture of what we would feel like they're going to do, a direct link to the news we've gotten and what is possible for these guys to do. I can name real quick 15 of the top picks, top 15 prospects. Now, Malachi Corley, Western Kentucky. It's the Yak King. It's 5'11", 217 pounds, right, but runs like he's 6'3", 230. Promise you. Ricky Pearsall from Florida. Versatility is one of his main attributes. They really like Ricky Pearsall. He has some pop as an NFL prospect. He's coming off nearly 1,000-yard campaign, and there's untapped value in this player that should be found in the mid rounds. So he's not someone that may go the first or the second, but these are all guys that was written into Sports Illustrated and Sports Science PFF for their combine performances. So not just college stats and what they did in school. I'm just giving y'all who popped off on tape in the combine. At number 13, one of Steve Smith's favorites as well, Jalen Polk from Washington. Jalen Polk is one of the favorite receivers in his prospects in his draft class. Even though he's being overshadowed by Rome Odunze at Washington, there are a ton of pro traits to his game that people like, and the NFL would be very happy to see. Number 12, one of Leo's favorites, Jermaine Burton, Alabama. There's no doubt that Burton has the raw tools to intrigue NFL franchises, and saying that there are question marks about his overall maturity, which could make teams shy away from him in a deep wide out class. All right. But again, skill set and attitude. He has the skills. Is that attitude right for the locker room? It's a question about him coming out of the combine so far. Number 11 is the AKA so-called new DK Metcalf, the large and in charge Xavier Leggett from South Carolina. We're probably a little low on him, admittedly, but he popped in the senior year for South Carolina, which has multiple NFL teams looking into him as a top 70 pick. So top 70 overall pick makes DK Metcalf almost a third rounder, fellas. Number 10, Roman Wilson from Michigan, someone else that Leo likes. He doesn't have the ideal size of a wide receiver, but he brings many strong takes to the table, which should interest teams in the middle rounds. So I believe he'll be also available in the second, maybe the third round. Probably more so the second, but they said that he still has some that he'll pop better in some more pass heavy offenses. Number 9, one of my favorites from my favorite team in college. Shout out to Seminoles. Keon Coleman. If you had to pick one loser from this talented group of wide receiver prospects, it's not hard to land on Keon Coleman. Wow. The Florida State's prospect numbers failed to pop at the combine, highlighting some red flags about this player. Still, the production was high end for him at Florida State, but he's got a lot of red flags after the combine. Post-combine report, fellas. Number 8, Xavier Worthy, the fastest star of the group in the combine, set a record at a 4.121 for the 40-yard dash, which is now the new world record.
That's fast, though, honestly.
Yeah, he's super fast.
He is.
I told y'all that boy got
but it didn't show though. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't
He's
see
6'1". Yeah, that is my knock as well, Ro. I'm with you. It showed when he caught the ball, but it did not show when he was running his routes. He was not beating corner by a lot.
I mean, is that not what Jerry Rice used to do to defenders?
No.
Jerry wasn't that fast. Jerry get the ball and then go.
No,
nah.
Excuse me. What we talking about is the separation between the wide receiver and the D-back, either in one or two things: off the line when you're taking off with a route, or once you're in stride with your route and you pulling away as the ball is in the air as the quarterback's trying to get it to you. If you go back and look, he's within a yard or two. If you look at how far Neighbors is ahead of whoever's checking him in comparison to how far Worthy is, and Neighbors ran almost a whole second slower than Worthy did.
Right.
It just to me, with equipment on, it seems like he's faster without equipment, if that makes sense. It's not that he's not fast, it's just that he's a little bit slower with equipment on, and it feels like some people were able to move that same way with the equipment on.
He did outrun some people, like guys who were just slow. He definitely outran them, but his speed wasn't a heavy advantage in my opinion. I didn't see
that. I think he has to gain a little bit of weight, but he has good size. 6'1" is not bad size with that much speed.
Right.
Number 7, one of our all favorites, Troy Franklin from Oregon, brings many qualities. I'm looking forward to NFL level. He didn't have a poor showing at the combine, but did fall on our list because of other prospects popped out more. Number 6, surprising to me, but to a lot of other people, they like this pick, and I think it's solid. I just didn't know where to place him. They have him at number 6. Number 6 will go to Ladd McConkey from Georgia. Acceleration and strong hands were already pro traits. Many wonder how McConkey would test at the combine, and he came away with a great showing, including in the drill setting. Don't be surprised if McConkey finds his way into the first round.
His numbers wasn't all that to me though.
Georgia ran the ball a lot though too.
Yeah, that's true.
Adonai Mitchell, Texas, prospect to watch if you're looking for a big game player. Not only did the former Texas wideout produce when it mattered most, but he also showed up in the NFL Combine with a dynamite run.
He don't have good numbers like that either. Worthy got better numbers than him.
Man, but I like Adonai Mitchell, man.
Adonai is
Yeah,
a dog.
he different.
He a dog.
But he ain't got the numbers to prove it.
I mean, depending on the place he go, that's going to be opportunity for him. Because, like, say if he goes somewhere like here, where we got Terry on the other side, you get
Troy
what I mean?
Franklin numbers is like that
Franklin,
too.
Yeah, his number for Troy Franklin numbers
is like that.
He got the numbers.
Like
Franklin got the numbers. Yeah, Franklin got the numbers for sure.
I think
he absolutely balled out. 14 touchdowns, 83 receptions.
Yeah,
like, he balled out.
Yeah, he got
1,300 yards, I think.
They had I think three wide receivers with 1,000 yards now.
Yeah.
You ain't saying my man yet, man.
How many touchdowns did they have though?
AV.
Who, Bo Nixon them? Oregon?
No, man. You ain't.
Yeah.
You ain't say my man yet.
Yeah, they got Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson had 1,000 yards too at Oregon.
Corley, man.
I did. That was the first person.
Oh, I missed it. My bad.
Yeah, that was Western Kentucky. Yak King, man. It's the first.
Yeah, man.
Name. He ranked number 15 on the board right now.
He ranked number 15. Damn, he went up.
He didn't even have 1,000. He had close to 1,000. 79 catches, 984.
Who you talking about?
Corley.
Yeah, but look at his yards. Yards after.
Yeah. Corley had, he had decent numbers. He was ranked when it comes to the numbers wise, he was ranked 36 when it comes to numbers. But like you said, it was after the catch. A lot of them was after the catch. So
yeah,
I think that's a good sign. He can make people miss.
Yeah, he can do it himself, basically. You get the ball in his hands.
Just got to get him the ball. Just throw him the ball, bro. And he catches with his hands, bro. He don't catch with his body at all, bro.
Yeah.
All hand work. And he got Kawhi size hands, bro. He got Kawhi size hands, bro. He's got a 10.
Okay.
That's important. You know that.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison is the number 1 and number 2.
Neighbors' numbers is actually better than Harrison numbers.
No, I told you that. And guess what? Today, outside of what the Giants said, guess who's number 1 on the wide receiver board?
Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors.
Yeah. Rome got the best numbers out of all three of them, though, on the low.
Hey, and
Rome got the best. Rome had 1,600 yards and 92 catches this year.
Name the quarterbacks for those players.
How many touchdowns he had, bro?
Hold on. I just want
13.
to name the quarterbacks for those 3 players that you just said.
For who?
For Neighbors, it's Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
For Rome, it was he was Washington, right?
Yeah, that was
Penix.
Yeah.
Who's the quarterback at Ohio State?
I forgot the guy name.
Bonet.
No, it's I forgot.
Hold on.
They didn't. He wasn't that good. He wasn't good at all, to be honest. He wasn't.
He had CJ Stroud though his first year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his second year. His second season, CJ Stroud. Actually, the first 2 years. Yeah.
I didn't like the quarterback.
Well, he only played a little bit in that first year. His first year. His freshman year. So basically only had 1 year with CJ Stroud. And he still with a way worse quarterback, in my opinion, he still had that same productive year. Meaning if he would have had CJ Stroud 2 years in a row, I think his production would have went up.
Yeah, I didn't like the quarterback they had in Ohio State this year. I think he was really inaccurate. Like really.
Yeah, he was. I was watching a lot of tape on him. That's why
he didn't look good at all.
Harrison Jr. is a different specimen because he was doing that with for nobody.
Yeah, he's number 10 when it comes to numbers wise. Harrison would be ranked number 10 if you just took the numbers. So with that quarterback, I think that ain't bad. What do y'all think about now? He's small. He's only 5'8". And but what do y'all think about Malik Washington? He is senior out of Virginia. He had 110 catches this year.
I mean, we don't really need him because we got Jahan Dotson, which ain't that big.
I mean, I wouldn't say
McLaurin.
I just say what y'all thought about. I ain't say about drafting him. I just say what y'all think about.
He a baller.
Yeah, he led the league in get catches in college.
Yeah, no. Unless we looking to move one of them, there's no point of us even. That's why I don't look at him much.
Let's look at. You got keep his numbers up. I'm gonna look at Virginia's overall offense.
Yeah, he had 110 catches, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. 110 catches is a lot in 13 games.
It is. That means he caught the like he can catch. But
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Unless we're gonna move, we don't
12
have no
games. He
room.
didn't play 13. Sorry, he played 12 games. He had
We don't got
110 catches in 12 games.
we don't got no room for him unless we are looking to move. I mean, I guess we could add him, but then we don't have no size on our wide receiver room.
Nah. He only ran a 4.4. So I mean, he's not like a burner, but he might just know what he's doing.
I mean, game speed is different. So 4.4 for me, because you got to think about somebody like Jerry Rice that ran like a 4.5, ran a real
He ran a
slow
4.5.
40.
He ran a 4,
You know what I mean?
4.57, I think.
Yeah, but his game speed was way different. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Let's get that it wasn't a bunch of 4.2 corners back then though either.
That's true.
4.5 was fast back then, y'all.
Yeah.
It wasn't lightning fast though. It wasn't.
Yeah, but you got to. Jonathan Taylor ran a 4.4.
What you mean it wasn't that?
What takes it back? What takes it back to my comment about how Jerry Rice used to do people? But
how many people was Darrell Green in the league when Darrell Green was playing? There was probably one, maybe two other people just as fast as Darrell Green.
Rod Woodson, early Rod Woodson was a burner.
Early Rod Woodson wasn't in the same time as Darrell Green. That's a little.
No, they raced. I saw them race. Darrell Green burnt him, but he wasn't too far.
No, but that's what I'm saying. By the time Rod Woodson came, Darrell Green was probably in the league 10 years. That's what I'm saying.
Darrell
Green was still the fastest man in the league when he was in the league.
At 40,
until he retired.
Yeah, he burnt him. I saw them race though. That's why I'm saying Rod Woodson. Early Rod Woodson wasn't that far off. Early Rod Woodson kept up with him a little bit, but he got burnt. He still got burnt. You know, just to be honest. You know what I'm saying? You know, Darrell Green beat Gold, the Olympic racer who went and played, the Olympic runner who went and played for Chicago. Darrell Green beat him. So, Willie Gold. Yeah. Darrell Green beat him. He was in that competition too. And I urge everybody to go watch the old fastest man competition. That's one of the unfortunate things with the Pro Bowl. They used to do that at the Pro Bowl. They don't do that anymore. But I think that's something that they could definitely bring back. It would be a smash hit if they was to bring the fastest man race back to the Pro Bowl. I think that's one of the more unfortunate things they don't have at the Pro Bowl. That is something that'll be really entertaining. That'll be really entertaining.
Can we call it the Pro Bowl still?
Yeah, whatever it is, whatever it is. I mean, going over there.
Yeah.
And let me say this too. I'm gonna take back what I said about Brian Thomas Jr. for LSU. He had 13 catches, 1,100 yards, and 17 touchdowns. He actually had
nice too. He
had more touchdowns than Neighbors.
He's not. Not going to translate the same way, fellas.
Yeah,
I know it ain't, but I'm just saying he's nice. Now they got to pick up for us, but I'm just saying he's nice.
He's a bigger body than Neighbors.
Y'all remember Kelvin Benjamin? Kelvin Benjamin was nice too in college. It didn't translate out for the same reason that Steve Smith said that this kid is going to have problems. Unless he learns how to catch with his hands, it's not going to translate out the way y'all think, bro. I'm telling y'all, go watch Steve Smith before y'all look at these wide receivers, bro. He give you a whole nother way to look at how they translate. He gives you comparisons to he don't give you no comparisons to Hall of Famers. He give comparisons to other wide receivers that they play like today that aren't on the Hall of Fame level, just where you can comp them coming straight out of college.
Right.
And Brian Thomas is a body catcher. Him and Keon Coleman from Florida State are body catchers. Those are two of the biggest disappointments that Steve Smith had.
I mean, he ran a 4.33 too. Brian.
So if he's wide open when he got it, and all he got to do is tuck it into his body, maybe that works. In pressure situations when you need him to be able to catch the ball, unless it stays in his body, that's the way he's going to go to attack the ball. And like I said, it depends on who works with him. I'm not saying those things can't be fixed, but you've been doing it all the way up to college. He's
6'4" too. He's 6'4", running 4.3. Woo! I don't know.
I never said him because I don't want us to make that mistake.
Right. I know, but he would be there. I think in the second round, you might can get him in the second round.
No, but that's why he's gonna. If he's there, that's why he's there. That's what I'm saying.
He wouldn't be in our range.
If he's
why wouldn't he? I think he would at 40. If we pick, let's say we pick a quarterback, for instance. Let's say we pick Daniels, right? I would go Thomas in the second round. I think I would go Thomas. Looking at his numbers,
over Franklin. Over Franklin.
I would only agree with that, Big Son, because they already got a relationship with each other.
Right.
They already comfort with each. Like, you know how much timing and QBs and shit like that be having a plays. So if they already got timing with each other, that's a good thing. You don't want to try to bring in somebody that he got to learn the timing to, because that means you got to pick quarterback with your first pick. If you're looking at somebody that can just find the timing with anybody that's coming in that way, that's got to be somebody special that throws the ball.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but my only problem with the situation is we've seen this last year, right? What? With a guy that has rapport with another guy. You know, how well did that translate?
He wasn't a starter though. He wasn't a starter though. Whoever gets picked in this draft is going to start.
Right.
De'Ami Brown threw his chance on starting, not outperforming Dotson last year. If he'd have outperformed Dotson last year, had 500 or 600 yards, you would probably be thinking about them three being the big three right now and just adding some help. Because De'Ami, even though he had a very few good plays, it wasn't enough to translate to say that you trust him over Dotson to be your.
What did you say when we first started today, though, Vito? And I'm gonna tell you why I say I would consider Thomas. Because what did you say? You said, hey, when we first started, even before we got on air, you said, man, them 60-something catches, man, those ain't too bad to replace. Well, he had 68 catches. And you know that Curtis Samuel, for instance, had 68 catches last year. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's college to NFL, it's a difference. But he had 68 catches and found a way to get 1,177 yards out of that and 17 touchdowns.
You also got to have that quarterback that can throw the ball downfield. You ain't had nobody that can throw the ball downfield.
I agree.
Even if Sam could, he just wasn't.
No. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying for argument's sake, hey, maybe he can get those 60-something catches next year, and maybe get you more because he's 6'4". He's a way bigger guy than Curtis Samuel too. You know, we gotta. I mean, that's where the 17 catches I believe come from. 17 touchdowns. Because he's 6'4" and he runs a 4.3. You know what I mean? That's just rare in itself for me. So, I mean, if you go Daniels the first round, I wouldn't mind if you could slide and get Thomas. I think that's a good that's a good look.
If he was snatching bags out the air like
well, he could be coached. You don't think he can be coached?
Yes. But again, who's our wide receiver coach?
I can look it up. Let's find out.
Is it James Thrash?
Go ahead, bro.
I think he work in the league. Bro. I think if he don't work with us, he might work with the Eagles.
It's Bobby Ingram. Bobby Ingram. That ain't bad from the Seahawks. Remember, he played with the Seahawks. He was a really good receiver. It's his first season with us too. He was not the coach. He was hired on March 9th. So he just got hired this month.
Okay.
So it's Bobby Ingram.
Where was he at first?
All right, let me look it up. Let me get it. Let's figure out what he had going on before he got here. But I think he can be coached. He was with the Wisconsin Badgers last 2022 season. Before that, he was with the Baltimore Ravens in 2014 as the wide receivers coach. Before that, he was with the Pittsburgh Panthers, which is, I think it's what's the name? It's like some type of whatever team. Yeah. And so then before that, he was with the San Francisco 49ers, where he retired actually and he was and he accepted the offensive assistant coaching job for the 49ers in 2014.
Is that when what's the name got the job out there?
I believe that's where Peters got the job. So that might be why Peters went and got him again. Sorry, that was in 20. No, that's before Peters got there because he was 2012. So I'm thinking this is 2011. 2011, yeah. He had got the coaching job. He was with San Francisco 49ers that just accepted the assistant coaching job. So I mean, he went from college to now. I mean, he knows these receivers because he was in college in 2022, not last year, but in 2022. So he took a year off last year. He didn't coach anywhere, and then in 2024, he's now coming to coach with us after being in Wisconsin. But
he scouted somebody. Somebody.
These are the same players through COVID. We just talked about that.
Yeah. That's what I said. He's had to have scouted some of these guys.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, now that we see, and now I'm looking at some of these numbers, I don't know. Let me see what Harrison. Oh, Harrison didn't work out, so we don't. Harrison last time he ran, I think he was a 4.35 last time he ran, but he didn't run this year, so we don't know what he would have got. But 4.3 is fast for a guy that's 6'4". I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah.
You know, so I wouldn't mind going that route. You know, I wouldn't mind going the route of of course I didn't like, you know, again, I felt like he shriveled up a little bit in the bigger games, but hey, 17 touchdowns is 17 touchdowns. He might be the next Randy Moss.
I ain't gonna say all that, but I won't take it away from him that it is possible because
he could be Mike Evans. He might not be Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Hey.
Mike Evans ain't just, you know, I'm just, hey,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like he a slouch or not. That's what I'm saying. He could be a Mike Evans.
No, not at all.
He actually led college football in touchdowns last year. Nobody had more touchdowns than him at receiver. He led all of college football in touchdowns. Brian Thomas Jr.
Man, I don't know, man. That's why I kept saying that to me when I watched their tape. To me, he was on just as many highlights, if not more, than Neighbors. Neighbors was Neighbors can do it all, but Thomas definitely jumps out.
But Neighbors has about 21 more catches than him, and he has about 400 more yards. Let's be clear about that.
I get what I'm saying. I get what you're saying about Neighbors. Yes, Neighbors a beast, but what I'm saying is, to me, when I seen the tape, because Brian Thomas is literally jumping over people, he making good catches, tiptoe catches, all that. So I mean, he jumped out on the tape to me. I think Neighbors is. Don't get me wrong. I think Neighbors is the truth. But when you think about like just highlights, Thomas was on them highlights, man, heavy.
Brian Thomas. Xavier Worthy, Texas, 4.21. Brian Thomas, LSU, 4.33. Adonai Mitchell, Texas, 4.34. Devontae Walker, North Carolina, 4.36. Jacob Cowing, Arizona, 4.38. Roman Wilson, Michigan, 4.39. Lad McConkey, Georgia, 4.39. Anthony Gold, Oregon State, 4.39. Xavier DK Metcalf Leggett, South Carolina, 4.39. Troy Franklin, 4.41, and Ricky Pearsall, 4.41. Those are top 40s.
Yeah, so he's the second fastest receiver in the draft. I'm just saying.
That we know of. We don't know what
we know of. Yeah. Neighbors didn't run, and Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't run. Neither one of them ran. So his showing was good. That's a good showing at the draft. That's a good showing. You know what I mean? That's definitely a good showing. You know. That's definitely a good showing. We got some clicking in the background. I don't know who that is. That's definitely a good showing now. So so let's say, okay, so now that we've went through everything, does anybody change their stance? Rome Adouzie, Rome. I just usually call him Rome because I don't like to butcher the boy name. He got 92 receptions, 1,600 yards, and 13 touchdowns.
He's gonna be a giant.
You know, what did he run?
He's going to be a giant.
Who, Rome?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I told you they switched their liking to Neighbors today though. Like their offensive coordinator was hard on that. Like he ain't do what Adam Peters did. He kind of like made a hard play at him.
Did he run in the draft though?
No.
Oh, he didn't run. They got him the last time he ran. They had him at a 4.45.
Who?
Rome.
He one of the biggest guys in the draft, though. One of.
Yeah. So that he's 6'3". He's 6'3". And honestly, he probably gonna be the way he play, and this is just my opinion. He plays like a Mike Evans, real grimy. He ain't tripping about no getting physical with you or nothing like that.
Come on, Rome.
Yeah.
No. He's definitely like that David Boston,
right?
Mike Field.
Right. Yeah, he's not tripping.
David Boston had that sick build, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
good bump. Good wreck.
Rome 6'3", 212. That's what they got him listed as. 6'3", 212.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But again, that 4.3, I just didn't know. I didn't know. And I didn't know he had that many touchdowns either. So my pick my strategy has changed. That's why I'm gonna toss it around to the board first. My strategy has changed a little bit.
So what's your strategy?
I might go Daniels and then go but no, let me say this. I still would go Harrison Jr. probably, right? But if you are going to go Daniels, you need to find a way to get, in my opinion, to get Brian Thomas Jr. You got to find a way to get him. And I know that's going to be hard. I mean, he had the most touchdowns.
Yeah, out of any first round. You want to trade back. You got to trade to get back in that first round.
You think so?
I don't know. From his combine, John, it don't say he's gonna go up that far.
Yeah.
Like right now they got him at fifth.
See?
Not fifth overall pick, just fifth overall wide receiver.
Right.
But it was saying that this prospect has flown under the radar. See? It shouldn't be the case, but he has flown under the radar. They were saying that he should be a viable first.
Because of Neighbors. It's because of Neighbors and all the attention Neighbors getting.
Well, I think it's more so the rating of each athlete. Remember we were talking about like what's the overall rating for the athlete? Right. We're looking at this, and like I said, he's the fifth overall wide receiver. But where is he in the measurables against every other athlete? Marvin Harrison Jr. is the second overall athlete on the board. Like that's for a reason. It's not just because it's tape by itself. Like athletically, he's just something special more than everybody else.
I think that and looking at his measurables, especially with the touchdowns and his numbers, I think Brian Thomas could be, maybe not. He's not going to be Harrison Jr. and he's not going to be Neighbors. He's not going to be wrong, but I would put him fourth now. After seeing all of this, I would put him fourth. They got him at fifth. I'm gonna get who's four in front of him. Who's in front of him on that board?
Adonai Mitchell.
I put him in front of Mitchell.
He's 0.1 second faster.
But no, I don't. But Mitchell don't have the numbers he got.
Mitchell,
Mitchell don't got them numbers he got.
Donnie's pretty good. They ain't had the same type of.
He don't have the numbers. He not even top 50 right now. Let me make sure I ain't missing him. Yeah, he's not even top 50 when it comes to yards.
Texas got one of the top rushers in the draft, which means that Texas was running the ball.
Right, that's true. But Shorty, the fast guys up here on Texas, though, he's ranked number 29, Worthy. He's 29.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I said I would put him in front of Mitchell. I think they missed one on that one. You know, that's just my philosophy. I got to change that up a little bit. If we do decide that we're going Daniels first, if you go May, even if you go May, I think I might have to get him. I wouldn't go May. I think that's a huge mistake to go Drake May. I just think that's a huge mistake, and I'm not going to count this out for them doing that. Going back to what Vito said, you might as well kept Sam Howell if you was going to do that. At least you ain't had to waste a second round pick. I mean, a number 2 overall pick. You might as well have kept Sam Howell. You know, so I don't advise they go Drake May, but if they're going to go Drake May, let's say they go Drake May, what would y'all suggest that they do then?
Don't go Drake May. I take JJ McCarthy.
You would take McCarthy second overall?
No, I would trade back and then take McCarthy.
Okay.
If I was going to go Drake May,
I can see that. I agree with that.
If I'm going Drake May, me personally, I'm not going Drake May. But if that was the case, if they was like that, say Caleb came off the board and somehow Marvin Harrison went back to college and just some weird stuff happened, all right? And we stuck with Drake May. Like at that point, I'm trading back and I'm going to go draft JJ McCarthy. Yeah. If I want one.
And my thing is, I don't understand, and maybe this is where maybe Sam Howell buzz helped Drake May a little bit, because I'm going to be honest with you. Let's take Zach Wilson, for instance. Zach Wilson won a bunch of games in college. Let's not get it twisted. BYU won a bunch of games. They was like their last year, I think they were like 13-1 or something, or 12-2. They had a really good record. BYU was beating hind pots. No foul, no diddy, whatever you want to say. They was crushing it back in college. You know what I mean? They was really crushing it in college. So, you know, I understand why Zach Wilson went so high. You know, even though I thought it was a stupid pick, but I understood why he went so high, because they won a lot of games in college. Drake May didn't win a lot of games in college, and his numbers are not really that good. How he got up in this upper echelons of players and top, I have no idea. I have no idea. Only thing I can think of is Sam Howell. Maybe Sam Howell got a little bit of buzz, so they looked and say, okay, he's not bad. So maybe, you know, this other guy can be all right. He's bigger. He's, you know, whatever you want to call it. Maybe. That's the only thing I could think of. But I think that would be a horrible pick if that's the way that they decided to go. I think that'll make Zach Wilson pick look good, in my opinion. And that's saying a lot.
The Giants want to move up. They're not going to trade with the Skins because of being a division rival. The Vikings possibly want to move up. I don't know if they want to help us out. I'm not sure why they wouldn't, but you got to figure out some type of way that they will want to do business with us. We're not in a division, so I don't think that stops anything. But I know the Giants aren't going to trade with us.
Let me ask y'all. Let me ask you this: is it any chance that Chicago trades their pick?
Yeah.
Is there any chance that Chicago trades that first pick?
No. Y'all are crazy. No, bro.
Yeah, if they can go to like...
Yeah, they got a 9th pick. I say yeah.
Oh.
Listen.
No.
I don't think they will, but let's say if New England, right, at number 3, decided that they was going to throw them a king's ransom. They going to throw them 4 first-round picks and a second-round pick. They going to trade it.
That's a possibility. I believe New England is a possibility. If they really want Caleb Williams, they could give them 3 or 4 first-rounders and jump up to Caleb Williams. That's a possibility.
And then the Bears would then pick somebody else.
Would you take it? Let me ask you this, Vito. If you were the Bears and they offered you three picks to get into that first spot, would you take 3 first-rounders? Would you take it? If you're the Bears. If you're the Bears. Yes.
Oh, no.
And not move back to number 3?
No, guys. No. You have to understand the position that they are in. They just did. In my opinion, I won't tell y'all that y'all wrong. And I do understand the theorizing of that. But here's the case. When they gave up Justin Fields, they made their bed. They gave up that opportunity of what a trade would look like. They don't have the opportunity to do the same thing that we could do and not pick a quarterback and try to run with the regime we have and pick a quarterback later and try to help them grow and this and that and the third. Because honestly, whether me or any of us like it, this regime has at least another season, maybe 2 at the tops before their 3 years is up, before you consider having to get rid of them unless they just play absolutely bad and make all bad picks. But right now, this regime, at least from the fan standpoint and from mine even, deserve at least 2 years to try to figure it out. The Bears and their regime right now with Eberflus and Ryan Poles, they have this season to get this right or everybody's fired. You can't trade for the future and hope that this keeps your job, because if you trade for the future and you play bad or those picks don't translate out, you just did this for the future of the team in hopes that someone will think good of you later and say thank you for doing that, because you're going to get fired and you're just going to help the new regime out.
That part, I mean, I don't know though, because they do got the 8th pick. So who would they end up at 8? Let's say, okay,
They got the 9th pick. Falcons at 8.
Okay, the Falcons would probably get a quarterback. They probably would end up with like Bo Nix. They could end up with Bo Nix. They could end up with they could end up with Penix. They can end up with Penix.
No.
You think they're gonna be gone by 9?
No, that's not. There's not whether they. First of all, if they trade out of that jump, then you got to think that the Vikings or who would you just say? Yeah, the Vikings. Let's say the Vikings or the Patriots. Who's in the Patriots division? You got to think their division is now going to act because they've just made a huge play outside of where they were already going to pick. They gave up their future to get somebody. Okay, so you don't allow them to just keep doing what they're doing and build. You step on their necks. You move up too, so that you can make the plays that you're trying to play or get what you're trying to get to combat whatever they've just signed or whatever, because you're not gonna let them get up on you like that. That's why I said that we can't trade the pick, even though I would love for us to trade it. We can't trade it because the value to who we could trade it to is not going to want us to get better.
Let me ask you this then. Let's say the Bears get Marvin Harrison Jr. What do you do at the receiver position then? How do you play that?
Who, the Redskins?
Yeah.
I don't think
Neighbors. Do you get Neighbors?
No, I told you that if the Bears don't have no effect on our division. That the pick that the Bears have don't have nothing to do with us except for Caleb Williams. And if we not that in love with Caleb Williams, then nothing that the Bears could do is going to affect anything we're trying to do.
Let's say the Bears get Marvin Harrison Jr. and say, okay, well, we're just going to go with Penix or Nix, right? We want Harrison Jr. That's what we want with the receivers we got.
They're not doing that because they got Keenan Allen.
Well, let's just say hypothetically speaking, they pick Marvin Harrison Jr. What do you do with that second pick?
Caleb Williams.
You get Caleb Williams.
Okay, and then how do you play this receiver thing?
What do you mean? You still just pick up a receiver. Yeah. Caleb, you right now with De'Ami Brown, McLaurin, and Dotson would still be a far more talented group than the former Heisman Trophy winner had when he won the Heisman Trophy.
That was college. That was college, though.
Only one of them translated to being a professional. That's what I'm saying. He didn't have nothing there but one player. You have 3 people who are already drafted into the league. So you could say that even if they were on his team, he would still have a Daniels type of offense if he had these guys coming out of college at the same time. Right now, you're walking into an NFL team with 3 experienced receivers, 2 with guaranteed experience, and 1 with some playing with some time playing on the field. That you, well, excuse me, I apologize. 3 with playing experience, and a 4th with some on-field experience, and you can always pick up somebody else to add to that room.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a pure thrower at that point in time. So you're talking about whoever your second receiver is going to get 900 to 1,000 yards. So you're talking about a guaranteed 1,000-yard receiver and another one either being a tight end or being another wide receiver that's going to get 1,000 yards along with your quarterback carrying the ball around.
As long as you can protect him, he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would say then you have to go get a left tackle.
You would take a left. You wouldn't get a receiver with that next pick. You would go left tackle.
Yeah,
bro. Caleb Williams,
I would
can throw to anybody, bro. These other quarterbacks need somebody special to throw to. Jaden Daniels did not.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Jaden Daniels did not have no great years until he had both of these guys on the field at the same time, no injuries, and was able to ball out. Every year, other than that, are mediocre numbers. Okay, they're mediocre. They're not anything jumping off the table. Drake May's numbers are not jumping off of the table. Caleb Williams' numbers passing wise jump off of the table. They literally do.
And all he had was Rice for real.
Yes, he had Jordan Addison the first year.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And that's a third string receiver in the NFL today. He's a slot guy. He's not their number 2. He's a slot guy. So your number 1 receiver.
He played number 2 last year a lot.
Because of injuries to the Jets.
Got hurt.
He played number 2 a lot. That's because he got hurt. He was a number 3 receiver for them until Jet got hurt. What I'm saying is that
Osborne just left. He went to New England. So he's gonna be the number 2.
He'll be the number 2 this year. And again, because of injury, you fast track where he could have won it, what he could have did. And again, by him being able to play in the slot and being able to play outside, you make him a little bit of a dual threat because you can put him in more than one place on the field. Cool. Yeah. You still have to now go find a quarterback that's going to be able to get him the ball. Once Caleb, Drake, and off the board, Daniel's off the board, which quarterback do y'all feel comfortable if they don't trade up that they're going to be able to get at 11? That's going to get Jet and Addison.
JJ McCarthy.
Nix or McCarthy.
I like Bo Nix and I like JJ McCarthy.
All right. Now, y'all know that Bo Nix had 5 receivers. If y'all go look at Bo Nix numbers, I don't think the least amount of numbers that the catcher over 40 passes had was like 700 yards. It's a lot of y'all. It's a lot of yards down there. It's a lot of offense down there in Oregon.
Yeah, and you still got Michael Penix Jr.
Why do you keep naming him, bro?
He was good, man. He was good. You come on, man. He actually had the best numbers. He had 49 touchdowns last year. Hold up. We ain't gonna do this. Hold up. He had 49 touchdowns last year. Passing.
So
before I speak, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins had 50 touchdowns.
Thank you.
My case.
Hold up, though.
Big son.
Hold up. As we seen, though, Rivera wasn't the best coach to have. You see what I'm saying? I thought he looked good with Callahan. I didn't mind him with Callahan. But, how you going to judge a man with Rivera? Rivera didn't really want him. But he was messing up too, though. I'm not gonna lie. He was messing up. He was messing up too. But I liked him better with Callahan. Let me say that part, if that makes any sense. I did like him better with Callahan, but with Rivera, he was jacking wreck.
Good game under Callahan.
He was jacking wreck.
I was about to say Mike Shanahan didn't want RG3, but RG3 went to work.
Right. But he was jacking wreck with Rivera. He was really jacking wreck with Rivera. So I can't say that. However, though, he didn't win a national championship. Penix did.
Washington won a national championship. Penix is on it.
Oh my goodness. With 49 touchdowns? Come on now.
The Pac-12.
Come on now. You got to give the man more credit than that.
Yeah,
what Leo say about the SEC? It was the Pac-12.
I'm just saying. You right a little bit, but Pac-12 was better last year. Put it like this. Shedeur Sanders was in the Pac-12 too, and he had 52 sacks. He got sacked 52 times.
His line was horrendous. He had the worst line in college football history.
He got sacked the most too. Shedeur.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He got sacked 54 times last year.
No, I thought you said he had the worst.
Oh. No, I'm saying he had a bad line.
He got sacked the most.
All right.
They wasn't good, bro.
So it was somebody playing defense over there is my point.
Yeah.
I mean, he was bragging a lot, bro. Nobody was making excuses when they was cheering for him, but then as soon as he started losing, they got a bad line. All right. Okay. I love our people. I love our people. The fact that we make the right excuses at the right time. It's okay. It's okay.
Listen.
It's okay. When it don't work out, I want everybody to raise your wrist like he do. Like just like Johnny Manziel with the shaking your fingers like you're making money. It's all good to do that, bro. This is a proven league, bro. It's a league. This not basketball, bro. This not basketball. I tell people that all the time. Football and basketball are two totally different things, bro. It's some of them that can really ball out, and then there's some of them that made it here because they tall and they big and they strong. It's some people that really can ball out, bro. All these dudes can't ball out, bro. I watch it on Sunday.
Shedeur did look good, though. Honestly, he was still 27-3 with the 54 sacks. So that was count for something.
He was 27-3, and what was his record?
Yeah, he was bad, but he had 27 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Because he wasn't throwing the ball. That's why
their defense was really bad too, though. You the main one who say that about Caleb Williams. You the main one. Would you always say, "Oh, his defense was ranked 109th or whatever it was"?
No, I didn't say his defense because their defense played good enough for them to win a couple of times. Shedeur didn't play good in a bunch of games, bro. But if that's what y'all want to say because he didn't have interceptions, that is fine. I won't argue with you. I'm not.
He had 54 sacks though,
because he was holding on to the ball. He wasn't getting sacked soon as the ball got hiked. That man was holding on to the ball, trying to stretch plays. When you have former NFL wide receiver sons at wide receiver, and you weren't throwing the ball. But if it's okay to knock all these other guys and give the other guys the beef and let him hold his wrist up with his AP or his rollie, that's cool. Because other guys that work for it.
Why you can't have a nice mock?
No, it's the truth. I'm with Vito. It's the truth.
So hold on. The reason
it's the truth because I watch him do some bum saw stuff. It's the truth.
The reason why I'm saying that is because the very first thing that everybody did when Oregon's Bo Nix, the same one that we said we'd pick, because maybe y'all forget the game that he played Colorado when Bo Nix, who was loved and favored to possibly be on the Heisman type of run at that time, was no longer considered after that because he had a quote unquote unsportsmanlike conduct, which was we knew that we was good, but these guys are showing their wrists and balling and all of this. So we came in and they didn't put the throttle down. They beat the crap out of Colorado. When they could have let up a little bit, they didn't let up. They beat the crap out of them. All right. And they got looked at like he was wrong for doing that because they're not that good yet. And you guys did this.
I look at it like that.
I'm talking about the rest of the country. Okay, they almost he was no longer in the Heisman run after that game. If you go back and look, he was in the Heisman run until that, and his numbers show that he probably should have been in it. He was taken out because he had something to say about Deion Sanders and the cowboy hat. He competed. Shedeur was able to raise his wrist against other teams to brag as if they were like I don't know what it was, bro. Okay, to show this newfound money that these kids is getting paid, whatever the case may be. But you did that when you're losing. Imagine you celebrating your alley-oop and y'all losing by 30 points. Your coach is going to take you out the game. Imagine you scoring a touchdown like the Redskins when you losing 48-0 or 40-0 at halftime. Imagine you scoring a touchdown and then you do a team celebration. If y'all don't get y'all bum ass off the field.
He was all right, man. He was all right. He was all right. 27-3, baby. 27. That was Nick Foles. It was all right when Nick Foles did it.
He did it in the pros. He did it in the pros.
He was all right with Nick. Man, shout out to everybody out there, man. We killing them right now online. I'm not going to lie, man. Our viewership is kind of doing real good tonight, man. I don't know where y'all came from, but y'all here. It's the Nature Sports Podcast. It's ETA Money Road, Uptown Vito, Big Son, and Point
you already know. In the building, baby.
Man. Shout out to everybody out there tuned in, man. I guess they all across the country tonight. So shout out to everybody out there tuned in, man. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what it is, man. We giving y'all that good draft coverage for receivers and running back, defensive backs. We ain't got to the defensive backs yet. What y'all mean? What y'all do? Y'all got something for the defensive back?
I got a hot take for defensive back. So I'm gonna start out because I don't think. Don't get me wrong. If there's a steal there in the draft, then we might should go after him. But I don't think we're going to draft the cornerback. I do not think we're going to draft the cornerback. Looking at the roster and what we added, because let's say Forbes, we're going to start Forbes, okay? Because we did draft him first last year. Let's say they're going to work on his technique in this offseason and help him out. Something that Joe Witt does very, very well so far from what we've seen. So Forbes is CB1, right? So now you go to the other CB. The other cornerback, let's start with Benjamin St-Juste. He's a starter, been a starter in this league for a couple years now. Even though he hasn't played great, they probably not looking at that as a whole to field. And then you got all of the people that we've added in free agency. You know what I'm saying? I think, if not, I'm not mistaken, we've added 3 corners in free agency, 2 corners. So I don't see them going right now to go after a corner unless it is just the absolute steal that is maybe in the 4th round, because I think the first couple rounds they're going to focus on some of the bigger holes.
What y'all got on Taheeb Steele out of Maryland? He had 5 interceptions in 10 games. And he's from the area. They get a chance to get him. Do they snatch him? Let's say you get a chance to get him in the 3rd round. You got 2 third-round picks. Do you snatch him?
He's not coming in. I don't think they're going to focus on a cornerback in the 3rd round.
Unless you got 2 third-rounders.
I'm saying like the 4th round is what I'm saying. They're going to maybe consider a cornerback.
Yeah, the cornerback's still going to be on the board. Like the top guys be gone, but cornerbacks going to still. Safeties will probably be gone first because it's a deep safety.
Xavier Watts is going the 1st round. That's the guy from Notre Dame. He had 7 picks. He was, I'm talking about really, 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 really good. Straight up. I'm going to keep it real. That guy was really good.
Yeah.
I think Watts is going 1st round. That's just my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. I think Watts is going 1st round. But I think the guy from Maryland is pretty good too, though. And he's from the area. You wouldn't go if you had a chance to get him in the 3rd round with the 2nd pick, with that 2nd, 3rd round pick. Do you take him?
No.
Yeah, you don't take him.
Local guys are not going. He's not. You got him going.
Right now, Cooper DeJean and Quentin Mitchell are the top 2 corners right now, from what I can see.
But
wait, you
right, right,
huh?
What are you looking at?
This is CBS.
You said Cooper DeJean and who?
I didn't say Cooper DeJean. It was Cooper DeJean.
He is not number 1.
Who's number 1?
Number 1 is Terrion Arnold, Quinyon Mitchell, and
I think Quinyon Mitchell on the other jump, yeah.
And Nate Wiggins.
They do have Quinyon. That's what I said. The 2nd person was Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean is he 5th behind Kool-Aid.
I seen him. I seen a joint where Kool-Aid was number 1 as well.
Now, position rank. That's where they have them drafted right now. But position rank, they got Nate Wiggins, Quinyon, Kool-Aid. Cooper is 4th, tied with Terrion Arnold. And it's Ray Straw Jr., Tyler Newman, who's a safety. Kamir Lassiter is 8th. Javon Bullard, Georgia, safety. TJ Tampa, cornerback from Iowa State.
I like TJ Tampa, man. I like
DJ James and Cameron Kitchens, the safety.
Cameron Kitchens had a good year, a really good year for Miami.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably would be one of my top guys too.
He's slow.
He is slow. He's slow, but he makes plays. He had a lot of turnovers this year. In 10 games, he had 5 picks too.
Yeah,
but in the NFL, he gonna probably get burnt out.
Yeah, y'all can keep them slow niggas. That nigga almost run a 4.7, fool.
Put him at the linebacker / thing that you do.
He's 203 pounds.
Okay.
What linebacker you about to put him at?
Well, sometimes it work out. You gotta be a little slow, but he
had to bulk up
and
go to linebacker.
I think you picked an actual linebacker with some speed, rather than make a guy trying to create a player. You're gonna have to put that nigga in the cut for a couple years.
No, I'm just saying, like, himself got to bulk up.
Yeah, I know.
That's what he's gonna have to do.
Will take time. You don't get that in 3 months. TJ Tampa is 6'1". He run a 4.45. A lot of these cornerbacks are slow, y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all. It's only 2 corners that got some speed.
I mean, 4.4 ain't necessarily slow,
bruh. Do we not remember naming the 40 times of the
Watts
corner?
going back and just to correct, Watts is going back to Notre Dame. I didn't know that. He decided to return to Notre Dame.
Who?
Xavier Watts. He went back to Notre Dame.
Oh.
He was a junior. I thought he was coming out. He did not. He's not coming out. He's going back to Notre Dame for a senior year.
Mike Saintsville is from Michigan. He coming out. He 13th. He run a 4.47, but he only 5'9". Max Melton, he 5'11", run a 4.39. Went to Rutgers. Renato Green. Come on, what's going on? Renato Green, Florida State, 6 feet, 4.49. Chris Abrams Drain. It's my man right here. We run a 4.4. 5'11". Kalen Buddock, safety USC, 6'2", 4.4. Dang, he faster than the damn cornerbacks. Jaden Hicks, 6'2", 211, 4.59. Dadrion Taylor Demetrius or Deemer or something. I can't see the rest of his name. He is safety, 4.41. Kalen Carson, 6 feet, 4.48. Wake Forest. Harry Jackson, Oregon, 4'5", 6'4" though at cornerback.
What you got on MJ Davishar from Pittsburgh? Do they got him on there?
You said what?
MJ Davishar, if I'm saying his name right, Devonshire.
Hold on.
From Pittsburgh.
He a corner or safety?
I think he is safety. Let me see what he got. Let's see if I can find what he ran. I mean, it's honestly, to be honest with you, this ain't the years for defensive backs. I mean, because most of the guys, freshmen, it's a freshman, Dylan Thiemann, who had 6 interceptions this year. A freshman. And he went to Purdue. Another guy, Billy Bowman, he's a junior. He went to Oklahoma. So, you know, the guy from Michigan is really good. He should be coming out. Mike Sandstriel, that's the guy you just talked about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. You know what I'm saying? He's really good. His numbers are off the charts. You know, he had 6 interceptions this year for 232 return yards, 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns. So he's really good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, that player that Big Son was looking at, he's slow too. Big Son, he run a 4.6. That running back and / safety.
Oh, he played. Yeah, he play both ways. You know, you might have to put him at linebacker. Why can't you put him at linebacker? Why can't you know?
I feel like you're reaching. Like linebackers are linebackers for a reason. Safeties are safeties for a reason. It's not that you can't play in there with the big boys, but as you can see, we had Landon Collins right there, special specimen. Soon as we took him out, hard to replace that.
That's true.
It ain't easy. That's something that I can say out of all the years of me watching football, that's one of those Ed Reed, Palomalu type. Like everybody can't do that. You can tell why they play safety for you, but you can say this ain't the job I want you to do. I'm gonna leave this to somebody else because they can do the dirty work. You can't do that type of dirty work.
Yeah, even Terrion Arnold from Alabama, he ran a 4.5, which is really slow. That's really slow. He made a lot of plays. He got a lot of turnovers, but that's still really slow. Cameron Kitchens would be, to me, the gem in this draft right now.
Run a 4.65, bro. 4.62.
Who, Kitchens? Kitchens did?
Yeah.
He ran a 4.6?
4.65.
Who ran anywhere comparable? What about Jamal?
Told you, Nate. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Why is it showing me the safeties? Oh, there you go. Hold on. All right. Corners. Quinyon Mitchell, 4.3. Nate Wiggins is a 4.28.
But even with Quinyon Mitchell, his numbers don't compare. He's not even in the top 50 in interceptions.
He do like a knife.
You know what I'm saying? He's not even in the top 50.
Let me see.
You get what I'm saying? Let me make sure I ain't tripping. Yep, he's not. Merlin got some good defensive backs, man, that made plays, but they obviously not running what they supposed to run to even be able to compete with these receivers. And receivers are getting faster, so you do want somebody who is able to hold it down. You know what I mean? Like defensive back wise. So I can't blame you for that part of
it. He bench pressed 225 21 times. Squatted 44. Had top speed of 23.58 on the GPS this summer. He also ran the 40 and the 4.3s twice for NFL scouts this spring. Mitchell's teammate, running back Jaquez Stewart, an alumnus of powerhouse Miami Northwest High, who once won state titles in the 100-meter dash and the 4x100-meter relay, also nearly made this list. The 5'10", 180-pound Stewart hit 23.40 miles per hour this summer, but also squatted 550 and did 17 reps of 225. So somebody who was in his class as far as his running back on his team was also a sprinter, and he bench pressed. He squatted 550 pounds and did 17 reps at 225. And this kid did 44 squats and did 21 reps of 225.
Right.
And he's a cornerback. That was against a running back. Right. Quinyon Mitchell displays exceptional field vision in zone coverage, adept at predicting and interrupting the quarterback's strategy, and showcasing impressive route recognition, allowing him to react effectively to aerial threats. He's known for his tenacity in tackling, especially against receivers, where he isn't hesitant to engage physically and assert his presence. Mitchell's ball skills are among the elite. He exudes a natural instinct for the ball, translating into significant pass deflections and interceptions, becoming Toledo's defensive backbone. He carries a versatile skill set, comfortable both in man and zone coverages, though he shows an exceptional aptitude for zone schemes where his ability to read the game truly shines. His linear quickness and burst are assets in closing gaps and providing recovery, making him a daunting prospect for opposing quarterbacks and receivers alike. His weaknesses they got, despite his speed, Mitchell's transitions can sometimes lag, reflecting a hesitance to trust his instincts fully out of breaks, leading to occasional vulnerabilities in coverage. While effective against receivers, his tackling of running backs in open spaces can be inconsistent, often resulting to shoulder hits rather than secure wrap-ups. His agility and fluidity, particularly when changing direction or responding to intricate routes, have room for improvement, potentially impacting his efficiency in man coverage scenarios. While his anticipation and vision and strengths, refining his backpedal and transitional quickness could elevate his ability to disrupt plays and capitalize on interception opportunities.
See, I think I might be with y'all. This might not be the draft to pick. Well, Mike Sandstrill ran a 4.47.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So
that ain't bad.
You got a 4.28 up here by Nate Wiggins with Clemson.
Okay, let me see what his numbers looking like.
6'1", 173. Ran a 4.28.
All right. Yeah, you can go there. If you get him, would you go there if you get a chance at him on the third round?
I don't know if he's not gonna be there that long. If he was there that long,
he's not.
Hell no. Nobody with 4.2 speed, even that dude Xavier Worthy, even though I think he got numbers, I don't, like I said, what bothers me is the fact that he wasn't separating that much to me. And those receivers, even though I'd like to believe, like Tyreek Hill is like a little bowling ball, bro.
Yeah.
Worthy is small. He's like really, really thin, and that was I thought that was the issue with John Ross, why he wasn't able to kind of translate the way that I felt like he should.
Yeah.
And just for anybody that's a receiver with that much speed. Plus, is anybody knows that's ever played football, the faster you are, all you have to do is touch them and they will fall over.
Yeah.
You don't have to hit somebody who's really fast. You got to touch them though. You got to put your, but you don't have to hit them like you got to hit somebody who's trying to hit you back or bruise them back. A fast person, if you just touch them, they'll go flying in the opposite direction. And Xavier Worthy's not big to me. And I think that any of these guys, if they can catch them at the right angle, can either lay a crazy hit on them, or they can just always get him frustrated, maybe make him hurt himself falling out of bounds or trying to get his feet up under him, having to catch his legs and stuff like that, because he'll be moving so fast. I also think that if you can use him in the right situation, like I said, I'm scared if Kansas City gets him. Outside of Kansas City, I'm not worried right now. I know that the speed sounds dangerous, but in order for that to bother me or like me feel like that's dangerous, a team would have to either lose a lot of their main guys that's already receivers now, or they'd have to start this guy.
What if Dallas get him? How do you feel if the Cowboys get him?
They don't start him right away. He'll be like another Turpin, or maybe Brandon Cooks after Brandon Cooks leaves them. Like where they, I don't. How you make a guy like him special is to not just take advantage of his speed vertically, being able to get him to learn how to turn his speed into flow, where he can turn his speed, like he can turn the acceleration on and off like a Marshall Faulk. That's what would make that guy special, because now with those screens have the ability to really go for 60, 70, 80 yards, because he knows how to wait for the blocks to set up, because I'm so fast that I don't have to be the first person through the hole, because as soon as you get through the hole is what defenders left. So if you give it a second to let the offense get to who they need to block, maybe all you need to do is just hit a small little seam and turn the jets on. I've seen it happen in a lot of times where a player is just that fast that they can just turn it on in this one little space and they can make some plays where other people wouldn't be able to. But if he if he tries to overcompensate with the fact that he's already fast and try to do everything fast, NFL will catch up with you. These are some of the best players in the world, and they're very good at angles. You know what I'm saying? The more talented people, got other ways to kind of throw them off balance, but they're very good at angles. And I think it's going to be a hard job if somebody picks him without really thinking about a game plan to put him on the field. So, like I said, if you're a team that needs him early, I mean, like say if you're a playoff team, I really doubt that you're picking him to be the wide receiver of your future. I think you're adding him to
Dallas. Like I can see Dallas getting him.
Yeah, but remember I just said that. I said like a Turpin though. Like they got
like, and Turpin is really good. They gonna get Turpin more catches this year. Turpin is really good.
Yeah. So
that's why I don't know what Big Son and Point was talking about. Talking about the Cowboys ain't no threat. They gonna fall off. I don't know.
They gonna fall off, bro.
They don't have Michael Gallup. Imagine CeeDee Lamb getting 140 catches a season, and him being cool with only getting 100, and two more receivers can get them 40 to 60 passes a year. They just wasn't getting no production after they let go of Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup unfortunately got hurt the very next season that they got rid of Cooper. Matter of fact, I think he might have got hurt at the end of that year when they had Cooper. Yeah. He has been right since then. He's been hurt pretty much every game since then. You know what I'm saying? He show up for work, but maybe it's for a pay clause or something like that, because the kid been messed up and he hasn't been his old self. So with that said, they just went heavy CeeDee Lamb. Heavy CeeDee Lamb. Noah Brown was on the last little leg of a contract that he wasn't going to get re-signed for. Don't no disrespect to him, but I'm a Redskin fan, so I can point it out. They used that man because he wasn't going to cost them no money, meaning Noah Brown, to have a good season, and they helped get him paid somewhere else. So I ain't saying that they used him in a bad way. They helped get him paid, but you bring him back. He wanted to play with y'all, and y'all didn't bring him back. I thought that was kind of cold, but at the same token, again, we just went over a whole list of guys. There's guys all over this draft at wide receiver. The Cowboys are just like us. They need a wide receiver. They didn't re-sign Michael Gallup, which means they're going to go get a receiver from somewhere. I don't know if this is going to be their immediate need. They may go running back. There's a couple of running backs in the draft that are okay. I don't think that they're Emmitt Smith or nothing like that, but they're okay. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if they can get positive yards on the ground, doesn't got to be home runs all the time. If they can get positive yards on the ground, that's really all they need to do in our division because they pass the ball so much.
I agree. I'm not counting Dallas out. They've won 12
come
games.
over here and do that.
They've won 12 games on the other side. They've won 12 games each.
Let me see.
But you know what I'm saying? I think you can't count Dallas out. You cannot count Dallas out. You know.
You can count them out in the playoffs. It's not in the season.
No, not in the season. And I think that especially if we got a rookie quarterback. If we got a rookie quarterback and this rookie got to face Jalen Hurts twice effectively if he plays, you know, and you got Dak Prescott twice, you know what I'm saying? Then you
That's
still
why
got
I gotta take that and say I agree with you with Sam Howell going to Seattle might be dangerous because even though he didn't have the greatest year, you know what I'm saying? The quarterbacks in his division aren't the same as the ones in ours.
Right.
You got Brock Purdy to go against, but I think as a quarterback, I think you're more concerned about the defense you got to go against with San Francisco rather than going against Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? Seattle doesn't have a real big quarterback threat for you to feel like I'm going against such and such as a quarterback. Kyler Murray's coming back from an injury. So, you know, to me, you're in a good quarterbacking situation if you're Seattle. You know what I'm saying? For Sam Howell, if you can get a chance to play, because there's not really nobody there that can stop you from being a star. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or being a notable name at quarterback. Like Russell Wilson's gone. So, like, there's room to be somebody in that division.
Yeah.
Our division, you're going to pick a rookie. Our division is going to make a man of him, though. Like I said, with Dak being a vet, with Jalen Hurts coming into his own, having been to a Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? With Daniel Jones, regardless of what he is, he's an NFL vet at this point. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not the greatest, but he's an NFL vet.
Right.
Your quarterback is gonna make a man of him. If it ain't, it's gonna definitely let you know whether he's gonna be your guy before you hit one over or not.
Yeah, I mean, and that's essentially what you want to see out of him. I just think it's a tough hill to climb. With the teams being so successful as they've been. Because the thing is, too, people don't understand this. Once you start to win, this is why teams like Pittsburgh, for instance, I feel, and Baltimore, you know, they win a lot of games too. And maybe even Philly starting to go on that road. Once you start to win 10 games or better every year, that's what your fan base expect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they put pressure on you to have to do that. You know, you can't, all these drop-off seasons, that'll get somebody fired. You know what I mean? So
well, you said the standard for yourself and your organization when you start like 3 years with 10 wins. In fact, anything over 3 out of 5 years in 5 years to get 10 wins, especially if you do it 3, 4, or 5 years in a row, your fan base is not going to expect nothing except for you to go to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Now, if you win 7, 8 games, the only way somebody don't get fired is if your team understand that y'all took an injury to one of y'all key players. You know what I'm saying? Like to somebody I know y'all can't replace type shit.
Right.
You know, other than that, your team not gonna buy that excuse. You can't look. Mike Tomlin, bro, how many years in a row have we heard them say, yeah, if Mike Tomlin doesn't get to the playoffs, it just might be the end of the window. And somehow or another, he just turn around and win 4 games in a row and be like, yeah, you know, Pittsburgh Steelers going to the playoffs first round. How, bro? It was 3-11.
Yeah.
Are they going to the playoffs?
But that's why I think they're so dangerous, because I do believe that Mike Tomlin, if anybody, it's the same thing as when Russell Wilson was with Pete Carroll, effectively. You know what I mean? You put Russell Wilson with a decent coach. Just no offense to Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton's a great coach. You know what I mean? And if you look at Russell Wilson's numbers, you know,
Sean Payton was a little stubborn.
He was he's stubborn. He was that way with even Drew Brees. You know what I mean? However, when you look at Russell Wilson's numbers, they weren't bad. You know, yeah. So I think that when you're dealing with somebody like a Mike Tomlin and that defense, see, they're not going to have the defensive troubles that Denver had over there. They're not going to have those troubles in Pittsburgh. So I think if you can get that production out of Wilson, I mean, I think Pittsburgh is a major threat in the AFC, even a threat to Kansas City. I believe I don't see them. I don't see Mike Tomlin team shriveling up or being scared in that moment. I don't see them being scared in that moment. I don't see Russell Wilson being scared at that moment. I think he needs it more than anybody because his numbers are so good, but it's perceived that he's a bad quarterback because of all the money that the hush money is what I call it out there in Denver. That they all that cap money that they got at the hit that they got. You got to make good out of it some way.
All right.
Even if it ain't for you, it's for someone else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's just a major thing over there. You know what I mean with Denver over there. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody out there listening, man. It's the Nature Sports Podcast. You dig what I'm saying? We just giving y'all the basics of what's going down, how it's going down, and the way it's going down. So what's the overall outlook for wide receivers and defensive backs? You know what I'm saying? Can we see what the overall outlook after looking at the whole board, seeing everything that we seen, what y'all got?
I think it's a lot of talent on in the wide receiver area. I don't think it's as much talent with the cornerbacks, which is another reason why I don't think we're going to draft one. I don't think that we're going to look at that position unless it's just something that's just somebody slips or something like that. Unless it's one of those situations, I don't really see us going after a cornerback. It's a lot of wide receivers in the draft. We did not pick up one in free agency, so I'm going to assume, especially with letting Curtis Samuel go, I'm going to assume that we're going to draft the wide receiver.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy. What you got, Big Son? Or if you still there, Vito?
I totally agree with Leo. Looking at the board, I don't like it defensive back wise.
Yeah.
Not talent. Not that these guys are not causing turnovers. Not that these guys are not getting turnovers. I think that there's an extreme amount of speed on the offensive side coming out. And what these guys all look like right now on paper is that they're walking penalties waiting to happen. Nah, you laughing. I'm being serious, bro. Like, I feel like it may only be about 2 or 3 people that's able to cover people because they still got to put equipment on. And they almost running like it's linemen in the NFL that's not that far off of being the same speed as these guys.
I agree with that. Yeah.
These wide receivers getting ready to have a say out here. And now again, if these corners can play in space, then they may make some noise in that regard. Or like I said, if they know how to play the ball and give up that extra few yardage, but know how to play the ball, then maybe that's where they're special at. But I gotta go look at some tape. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's what's up.
Terrion Arnold with Alabama was nice this year. I put in a couple of little parlays on Alabama and stuff in a couple of games I felt comfortable with. And I was able to watch some second half football this year. And the young man to me is better than Kool-Aid.
That's an analogy. That's an analogy for sure.
They take it, so I don't even mean to stir up.
Analyst.
You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to stir up that type of analogy.
It's a declaration. That's definitely a declaration. When I do look at the defensive backs, I do not think as much as I think we need a defensive back because we still lost guys. We lost Kendall Fuller, right? And we lost Cameron Curl. You know what I mean? I think you get Derek Forrest back. So I think that'll play to a positive part. You brought in the guys that you brought in, assuming that this is what you wanted in your secondary, that the young guys would be on the corner, and you have some of the more veterans as safeties. I'm fine with that if Joe Witt is fine with it and if he can work with it. But I'm gonna say this: if it doesn't work out and you didn't bring nobody in of a stature or whatever the case may be, I think you should be held accountable for letting at least Kendall Fuller go or Cameron Curl. because I believe they're going to play well where they go. The places that both of those guys go, I believe they're going to play well. Both of them. Both of them. Cameron Curl went to the Rams. They're going to be good. You know, they're going to be, even without Aaron Donald, he retired, but I still think they're going to be good. I still think they're going to be good. And Kendall Fuller went to the Dolphins. They're going to be good as well.
I don't know about the Rams.
Oh, without Donald?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, they done a lot to add to their secondary.
They have been making moves.
They did a lot to their secondary. So, I mean, even though they might not get as much pressure up front, their secondary will be all right.
Yeah, the Rams been making moves all the way on the board. And this is McVay. And you've got to remember, is what did you say in the playoffs? With that offense, they're trying some new stuff on offense.
Didn't they just get Garoppolo or something like that?
Did they get Garoppolo
too? Yeah.
What? That's a big one that flew under the radar. Nobody's really talking about.
Sean McVay, quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, that one flew up under the radar.
Matt Stafford probably gone after this year anyway. Maybe this year, to be honest.
Yep. Garoppolo is with the Rams. Yeah. He's with the Rams.
I think Matthew Stafford retiring.
Oh, you think he's gonna retire this year?
It's a big chance.
I can see that.
Maybe it depends on how they draft though.
Garoppolo was really bad though with the Raiders, but again, McVay will know what to do with him for sure. And I'm gonna tell you why I think McVay got him too, because McVay know that he has a chip on his shoulder about what happened over there in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And he feel like he could beat Purdy. It was a smart move. I'm gonna be honest with you, because he can't get past. He always gets stumped at the San Francisco 49ers. He always gets stumped at the San Francisco 49ers. So I think that was a smart play right there. You know. But for me overall, again, I changed my stance. I think if they go, even if you end up with Caleb Williams, because I don't think Caleb Williams is all the way off the board yet for Washington. I know y'all saying Chicago's going to get him. I get it. I'm not all the way sold on that yet. Chicago can easily get Daniels, I believe. If they get May, they fools, but they can get him. I think they fools if they get May, but sometimes, you know, fools make choices too. So,
they got to get made in Daniels.
Okay. I think they can.
Same way that I don't think we get made because you don't have Sam Howard. Excuse me, you don't have Sam Howell and get rid of him to pick a North Carolina quarterback.
It makes no sense.
It's taller. And just like pick Daniels to have
they had Mitchell Trubisky. The Bears had Mitchell Trubisky too, though. So we got to remember he's with the North Carolina. He's a North Carolina quarterback too.
No. I'm talking about us, the Redskins.
Right. But I'm talking about the Bears as far as Drake May go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they can pick Drake May. If they pick Drake May, they'd be foolish. But they could pick him. they could. I don't see them trading out of that spot to make that pick though, because you don't know what the next few teams that you're. If you pick Jaden Daniels and you just had Justin Fields, half of your fan base is going to question that. Justin Fields is the size of a quarterback that could take a hit like Cam Newton that just might not get hurt after getting hit once or twice. And ain't nobody picking him up and slamming him in the middle of midfield while he's running.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody in your fan base is going to be questioning, why'd you just do that? Same thing with our fan base. If we pick Drake May with the number 2 pick, Drake May, everybody's going to boo immediately because I'm like, what'd you do this for?
Right.
How did this make sense? What did you do this for? Why not keep Sam Howell? Like, that don't make sense.
Right. I do agree with that. You kind of set yourself up. if you get Drake May, at least for scrutiny, if nothing else.
Yeah, for scrutiny.
But that's why I like Milton too, though, because for the size, Milton 6'5", 235.
Yeah. You'll set yourself up for scrutiny if you get Drake May. So that's why I say. So if we do end up with it seems like Daniels is the only halfway competent choice at 2, unless you go Harrison Jr. or even Malik Neighbors. You know what I mean? Unless you go there, my stance has changed because I feel like if you do go Daniels, you should go Michael Thomas Jr. That's my stand. With that very next pick, you got to find a way to get at least in position to get him. I think he's essential to go with Daniels. If you do get Daniels, you got to really make a play on him.
You talking about Brian Thomas? Is it
Brian Thomas? Sorry, yeah. Brian Thomas Jr. I said Michael Thomas. Brian Thomas Jr. I think you got to really make a strong play on him. And that's, as far as defensive backs, I wouldn't pick a defensive back in this draft. I would probably, if I'm thinking about it, I would do what they did, which seems smart. Shout out to, I'll give Peter some credit on that. The draft is weak. It seems like he's getting everything defensive back wise in free agency. It doesn't look like they're going to toy you around with drafting a cornerback, even though they did lose a couple guys. They like, forget that. The draft is weak. We'll go into free agency and tamper around with this. And that's what they did on offensive line. Well, not on offensive line, defensive line too. Because I feel like the draft is also weak at defensive line. We went over a little bit of that last night. I feel like there's some guys that are decent, but nothing shoots off the table. This ain't a Clowney year. This ain't, So I don't think that this is, this is the draft to get a defensive lineman. So it seems like they addressed that in free agency, which was smart. I'm gonna be honest. That was smart. So they're moving competently right now. But will it continue come draft day? We always start like this, and then out of nowhere, it just be either one move or a draft day that just jumbles it all up and throws it all away. Man. So y'all got some final thoughts? What's your final thoughts?
My final thought is that Drake May is not the guy that you want to draft, and neither is Jaden Daniels. My opinion, Marvin Harrison is the guy that you want to draft. I know a lot of people high on Neighbors. Wouldn't mind Neighbors, but I think you can. I think the Giants are probably going to go after Neighbors, but I think the Giants might be trying to finesse us to pick Neighbors and not Marvin Harrison.
That's true.
So I think that was their play today.
That's true. I ain't think about that. They could be finessing.
I think so.
What you got, Vito, on the final thoughts? Oh, maybe Vito ain't with it. Big Son, you with us, Big Son? What you got on the final thoughts, Big Son? Big Son might not be with us. Well, I'm gonna go into the final thoughts. I'm gonna try to get the guys a chance to get up, and I'll do mine a little early today. See, so overall, when it comes to the wide receivers, again, I'm high on Marvin Harrison Jr. And it all depends on what you want to do as the Redskins. If you want to pick Harrison Jr. number 2, I'm fine with that. Even if you wanted to go Neighbors and say, forget it, we're gonna snatch Neighbors off the board, I'm fine with that. But my personal pick, if you're gonna go Daniels at least, would really be to go and grab Brian Thomas Jr. He led the league and he led the NCAA last year in receiving touchdowns. He had almost nearly 70 catches with 1,177 yards, nearly 1,200 yards. And I think as a number 2, this guy could be perfect to go along with Terry McLaurin, who also can stretch the field and he can go deep as well. So I think you got to really roll coverage. If you do got a Brian Johnson, you do got a Brian Thomas, you do got to roll coverage his way, and you got to account for that. And so I think that if you do end up with Jaden Daniels, whose legs are really dangerous too, so defenses will have to account for that. I think the perfect pick would be somehow, some way, even if you have to trade away a couple extra picks. I believe Brian Thomas is worth that. I believe he's worth that. 4.340.
No.
That's just me.
That would number two.
No, not number two. I don't think he's worth the number two. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I say if you end up with Jaden Daniels, I think he could go. I think you need to,
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's essential to Jaden Daniels.
To me, if the team wants to build on this team with the future, let's look at this in a realistic scope that I can start to put together based on roster moves, right? So right now you have you've got 1 second. I got this. I have this. Yes, I actually have this, at least so I can tell y'all exactly who is starting. Yep. All right, 2 seconds.
Shout out to everybody out there listening, man. We rolling tonight, man. We rolling. That thing keep going up, baby. Viewership going up. It's the Nature Sports Podcast, man. You can catch us every day. Well, at least tomorrow, definitely you can catch us at about 10:30. So make sure that y'all come back and tune in with us. Everybody that's on here tonight, you know what we do. This is going to be off the late night, man, giving y'all all the draft picks. We doing quarterbacks tomorrow. Finally get the nitty gritty, man. Finally get to it when we talk about these quarterbacks. We talked about them tonight too. And even though we might have like a specific subject, we try to bounce it around just to keep everything in perspective. You can't talk about one hand without washing the other. So we try to give y'all both sides of it.
I was talking about us.
The Death Chop.
For us, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Oh, that's 10:30 Eastern time too for those who might be on the West Coast tuned in.
All right. What position we at? We got Eckler, Robinson, and Rodriguez in the running back room. We got Terry, Dawson, Crowder, and Brown, the wide receivers. Said to add Brian Thomas.
Right. I said Brian Thomas, to go on the other side of McLaurin. Yeah.
Brian Thomas and Jaden Daniels. So you had Jaden Daniels as your one, Eckler and Robinson in the backfield, McLaurin, Brian Thomas, Dotson, Crowder, De'Ami Brown, Milne or Tinsley. You'll have Ertz at tight end. They got Dan Arnold and John Bates behind that. Cornelius Lucas, Mason Brooks, Ricky Stromberg is your left guard, along with Nick Allegretti. Tyler Biadasz is your center, along with Michael Dieter from the Texans. Cosme, Braden Daniels, Wiley, and Trent Scott. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with Trent Scott. You have to definitely do an upgrade there.
Yeah.
Trent Scott is a 57 overall rating. We're not gonna go there. He's a fifth-year player and from Grambling State. That is not somebody you set your future up on. So again, I think that might have just been draft talk, Leo. Where what I'm saying, we can't tell you what we want. We're comfortable with everybody on our roster because they're on our roster. Farrell and Fowler are behind each other. Andre Jones Jr. is the left end with them. Armstrong on the right. KJ Henry the backup. Jalen Hurts behind that. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Effie Obata, Darian Mathis and John Ridgeway. Luvu, Anthony Pittman. That's the linebacker from the Lions. Bobby Wagner. Dejon Harris. Jamin Davis. Keandre Jones. KJ Henry again. St. Juice would be the 1. Emmanuel Forbes would be the 2. Michael Davis. James Pierre. And Noah Igbenogany. All 6 feet and up cornerbacks. Noah Igbenogany is the only one that's 5'11". James Pierre 6'2". Michael Davis 6'2". Emmanuel Forbes 6 feet. St. Juice 6'3". Derek Forrest, Percy Butler, Jeremy Chin, Jatavius Martin, and Jeremy. And that is the team.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, looking at the board and looking at what we have the highest need for would be quarterback and left tackle. Wide receiver is important, but I'm not sure if it's first pick of the draft important. Even though I think that talent there, you miss anywhere else you about to pick after that first pick.
Right. You got to get. I mean, so you think that you disagree with Peters when he said about the tackles today, and that being okay.
Yes, where you feel like it's not a hole. Like he made it seem like it's not a hole. I think it's a glaring hole. Based on production last year, but again, if these guys were in some way at all coerced to let things play out the way that they did, then maybe this group is better than what they were able to advertise. I got to see that first, though. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I can't even believe. I got to see that more than I see whether the rookie quarterback could throw, you know what I'm saying, throw it out. I got to see if that line can hold up.
Right. I'm with you though. I don't think I'm not all that confident in Wiley. Let's just say Wiley is bad. How long are you gonna wait for you put him? And who are you gonna put in there if you do put him?
And that's the thing though. Like that's what I said. Like, so do you spend this entire draft? What if you spend this entire draft making sure your offensive line and defensive line was straight? That's no problem. I don't think nobody will hold that much to you or blame you that much. But here's the thing. At some point in time, drafting a lineman is not going to be the best player on the board.
Right.
You have as a team enough needs that you can find a player that you want on the board at what you do well, or you know what I'm saying, what you want to do well. You know what I'm saying? You've got over 180 prospects.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pick somebody.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do something that line, in my opinion. I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with what they have currently. That's just my opinion. I think that you need some depth. Injuries happen, especially on the line. So to think that you're gonna have, like for instance, the last year the Cleveland Browns had 7 different combinations. They lost every lineman that they had and still made the playoffs.
Damn.
Yeah. They lost every lineman that they had. That's why they said their MVP was Callahan. That's why they kept saying their MVP is Callahan. They lost every starter that they had, and they still made the playoffs. And so you can't expect that you're just gonna. You need depth, or you need a good offensive line coach, or you need a good guy. If y'all feel like you got that,
but how many linemen do you pick in this draft if you feel like your biggest hole is the line?
I at least get a tackle. I at least get another tackle. At least minimum, I get another tackle for sure. I'm not comfortable with the tackles because I'm not sure that Wiley is going to hold up. Last year, people forget this. Even though Tyron Smith was older with the Cowboys, he was solid. His win rate was top 10 last year. So he was solid when he did play for the Dallas Cowboys. That meaning for Biadasz. That's what I was saying. Remember, I kept saying he double teamed a lot. He's not going to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so virtually he's going to have to go head up with a couple people with it. You know, he's going to have to take on more than what he took on in Dallas. Is essentially what I'm saying. He's going to have to do more than what he did in Dallas. You know, and so that's a new challenge for him. That's a new challenge for him. You know, that is a new challenge for him. So I don't know. I would go a tackle at least. I think you need a tackle at least. I mean, because you need some depth.
Ricky Stromberg or Allegretti could be your starters, and Allegretti is ranked under Stromberg.
Right.
Too.
Do I start either Stromberg or Allegretti? Is what you're saying? Yeah, Allegretti's already starting. You talking about as far as a guard? No, I don't think you need a guard because you just signed the guy that you just signed. So
no, I'm saying that looking at his rating, and I'm basing this on Madden right now, even though I had a decent season last year. What I'm saying is talent-wise, he's under Stromberg.
Wow. And Stromberg's not that good.
No, he's not at all.
Young.
Wow. And Allegretti is probably 2 or 3 ratings under Stromberg.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, are you looking at overhauling your whole line? Because even if you pick a quarterback, that means that in order to get the talent that's there, because it's not a lot of it, means you got to pick 2 linemen with those 2 with 2 of the second rounds.
Right. I think though, late in the draft, it's some gems late in the draft. I think that it's a couple teams out there. I wish I had my notes from last night. When we were talking about the offensive line. It's a couple of teams out there that got some good inside linemen coming out. I think you can get something late there if you're going to go inside. But my main concern, but now I thought my main concern was tackle at first. But now that seeing the rating of Allegretti, this could be a setup.
And I saw somewhere where our mock draft has us picking 2 defensive tackles.
What?
Yeah.
I with all the holes that you have, I would hope.
Our mock drafts are that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are covering different things on our mock draft that don't make sense to me. That's to me. It don't got to make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people are drafting mock stuff that don't make sense.
Right.
Cornerback, that makes sense to me. I can understand that. Line makes sense to me, but it's a lot of people I saw draft 3 different linemen, and I'm not sure if what Adam Peters said today may not be. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that may be more accurate than what I thought, which is that we filled the roster via free agency so that we could draft.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we may be looking at potential starters, and some of the people that we got from free agency could be backups. It just depends on how high do we pick those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, how high do we pick them in the draft to determine their positioning once the season starts?
Yeah. I think it's dangerous though. Now that you bring that up, and now they're just seeing some ratings, and again, it's Madden, but something Madden be accurate. Like, I mean, they be accurate more than what you think. And so, yeah, I think that like, for instance, last year, and I challenge anybody, last year, if you want to look at it, look at the Rams secondary last year. It was really bad. The Madden rating was really bad, and they played really bad. That's why this year they went and got Cameron Curl, because he's a high upgrade over what they had over there. So sometimes that Madden rating come out good. So yeah, I know fans probably like, oh, they looking at me. Yes, I advise you to do the same. Go look at your team and see what the guys that y'all just picked up, see what they rated. How can it hurt? That's AI basically. Madden is AI. It's an AI machine basically. That's all it is. It's taking all these different attributes and adding them up and saying, okay, this is the rating that this guy is. You know. So again, I thought Allegretti coming from, it's them names though. We always, and that's what Redskin fans and even fans across the country, be careful with that. Oh, this guy came from Dallas, so he good. Oh, this guy came from the Chiefs, he must be good. Oh, this guy came from, the Bills, he must be great. Don't fool yourself like that. You gonna play yourself like that. You gonna play yourself.
Don't play yourself.
He can come from the greatest team and be a cold-blooded slug. He can come from the greatest team and just be a slug. And just be bad. So you gotta make sure that you do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you do your due diligence, especially looking across the board and seeing everything that we got. Again, if it was me, I would definitely have to add some pieces on that offensive line, seeing that. And that's alarming. It's alarming because, no offense to Cosme is not a super piece in there that's just going to be taking on 2 or 3 rushers and all. No. Not at all. So if you get if that side over there with Allegretti ain't good, oh my goodness. And you already got 2 tackles that are questionable too. Whoo. I don't know, man. Y'all rolling the dice. And again, you might got, let me see who the offensive line coach is. Let's look up this offensive line coach before we just see who you got at offensive line coach. He better be good, I'll tell you that much. Here you go. Let's see what we got over here, man. Bobby Johnson. Bobby Johnson is the offensive line coach. It looks like he came from, let's see where he came from. He was with the Giants for the past 2 seasons. That is not I don't know, man. I don't know about this one. What you think?
What?
Bobby Johnson came from the Giants last year.
With the O-line coach?
The O-line, yeah, our O-line coach came from.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh my goodness, man. This is a nightmare.
This
is a nightmare. This is a nightmare.
You thought it was all right.
Yeah, this offensive line might not have gotten any better. This offensive line might not have gotten any better, man. As crazy as that might sound. So yeah, that's the final thought, man. I mean, do you have anything else on your final thought side?
Nah, not right now. I mean, I gave my analogies on my wideouts. I like, you know what I'm saying. What I thought we would do. I'm with y'all on the defensive side. I feel like you can afford to skip out this year on the defensive side, on the defensive back side.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think this is the draft. And again, I'm glad that Peters recognized that. And this is now after seeing everything that has happened. I hope. Okay, Peters is a first-time coordinator, right? First-time GM. Adam Peters is a first-time GM. He's always been an assistant. He was assistant with the 49, assistant with the Patriots. We know the story. Dan Quinn is a veteran. So we know Dan Quinn is kind of bringing in his guys, this, that, and the other. And this is just the Adam Peters. If anybody who knows him is listening, if he's listening, whoever is listening that might link up with him, whatever the case may be, if he hears this later, however it works, don't listen to nobody. You trust your gut. You trust your gut. Because I'm going to be honest, some of this stuff is questionable to me. Bobby Johnson, that's who you bring in, the Giants coordinator. Did you see the Giants last year in opening week against the Cowboys? Did you see the way that line looked game one? That line was horrible. In several games this year, I was looking at we called the game, right? We called that game last year. And y'all can go back and look. It's on YouTube. Go back and look for all the fans out there listening. That game is on YouTube. We called that game. The Giants got obliterated. Offensive line-wise, the game was over. They lost 40-0. That's who you bring in for the offensive line coach? Not impressed at all. I'm not impressed with that move. So Peters, if these guys is bringing in, oh yeah, I got a guy for you, don't listen to that. And you might have to break it to him easy. Hey man, we'll take a look at him and see if he's the right fit. That's a good way to put it. Hey, we'll take a look at him, see if he don't. A slow no is better than a fast yes. Trust. Sometimes you got to say no to these people about who they want to bring in, their friends, their homeboys, somebody they done promised the job to. Tell them no, because your job is going to end up costing you your job. Because we all going to look at you like, you didn't see what he did last year. Why would you bring him in anyway? I know I am. So there's no offense to Bobby Johnson. But you know what you did last year. I ain't got to say it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Giants fans out there that's listening, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But y'all saw what happened week 1 against the Cowboys. And then again against the Cowboys later on. Y'all literally could not block anybody. Y'all know that, but y'all blocked us when y'all played us for whatever reason. But yeah. But so I'm not talking in that sense, but you know what I'm talking about. Y'all had some offensive line troubles there. So why Peters wanted to bring in this guy, I have no idea, man. But that's my final thoughts. It's other holes that's there that I'm finding out. See, we peeling back that onion slowly. We peeling back that onion. Every day that onion get peeled back a little bit more. And so some of these moves are going to be questioned. Again, from my perspective, is you got to watch out for the tanking aspect. I mean, I'm looking at it with a positive eye, but I'm looking at it with a realistic eye too. Y'all better watch out for that tanking. Redskins, hold your money in your pocket. Don't go get them season tickets and all of that. They talking about they upgrading FedEx and they upgrading this and let them upgrade it and let the stadium be what it is until they win a couple games. 10. Make them win to get your ends. Make them win to get your ends. Don't just give it to them. That's a mistake. You see what Oakland out there looking like, the Raiders. They ain't won nothing in years. And guess what? They sold more tickets and made more money than anybody. And they ain't the owner saying, hey, why we got to win if we making money losing? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's how they feel about
it. So y'all better watch out there, fans. Y'all get used to spending that good money. And your team ain't won nothing. Be careful with that. That you can set yourself up for failure like that. But either way, it's the Nature Sports Podcast, man. Shout out to everybody out there listening, man. We are bumping tonight. Shout out to everybody out there listening across the country. We will be back tomorrow. with another episode. You know what I'm saying? We're going to break down these quarterbacks and still break down the quarterbacks for your team. As y'all hear, we go over everybody. You know, we started this off in the NFC East, talk about the Cowboys and everybody else, but we're gonna get to your team. Whatever your team is doing, we're going to get to them at some point, trust. So come on back. Make sure you're here with us tomorrow. We're going to give it to you how we know how to give it to you. I'm signing off. This ETA Money Row.
Point B.
Yeah, Vito, you still with us, V?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, okay, yeah. We signing off. You gonna sign off? I'm gonna sign off for Big Son too, though. Let me sign off, Big Son. I'm signing off for Big Son.
Oh yeah, nah, man. Vito, man. Shout out Big Vito. Nation Sport excuse me, Nation Sports Show podcast as usual. Tiggy invest in the building, giving our analysis and the breakdowns of some of the rookies and the prospects that we may be looking at this off season. Let's go, man. Shout out to the squad. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining.
Yes, indeed.